Hailing frequencies are open. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Clear Skies, our off-brand Clear Skies this evening, because we're doing the part 2 of the Time Kids tonight. So we're off our own brand. What's going on? It's an alternate universe. It's an alternate timeline. So before we jump into tonight's episode, you might have noticed we are down one Gina. Hopefully Gina will be joining us tonight, but if she can't make it, then we will definitely be catching her at the episode after, which leads to the next big announcement. Bonnie Gordon, what are you doing next week? You're doing something next week, aren't you? No? You're not?
I have to unmute myself. I will be doing a game where everyone is an eggplant, and we will go on an adventure through the grocery store. No, I'm just kidding. Next week is Wonderland. Lasers and Feelings Wonderland.
Okay, you were joking, but we were all getting ready for it.
But
I'm
now,
ready. I have a character.
I think I should go back to the eggplant idea. But I'm not. We're gonna stick to Wonderland. Which in Wonderland you can be a talking eggplant. That is totally fine. So ideas, people, my players, think of your characters.
Cool. So that'll be next Monday nights. And then after that, we have, I believe we have an episode of Blood of the Void after that. That's going to be pre-taped or going to be airing. I'd have to double check. Because
we are pre-taping it. So the episode will be pre-taped that you're seeing in 2 weeks. But hopefully we might finally get to see someone's Ponfar. Look forward to it.
We should just let that hang in the air. That's going to be good. Oh man, that's going to be a very rough pawn. I mean, they're already pretty rough, but that's going to be rough. That's gonna be rough.
If by rough you mean freaking hilarious, because it will certainly be hilarious.
So that's going to be, so in 2 weeks, we're going to be back to our regularly scheduled Clear Skies episodes. We're going to be jumping back to the campaign where if y'all know, quick reminder for those of you who may not know, where we last left off, Cat had just traveled into some kind of portal and it had encountered a particular arch enemy of the entire Star Trek series, supposedly. It's not much explanation, but Cat is currently floating in what she believes to be fluidic space, facing down species 8472, but we don't know what's going on just yet. That was kind of just dropped. And we'll see. We'll be able to pick up to find out what the hell happened to Cat and what's going on after a very... I'm excited to get back into that because that episode was so good. Like, you guys were doing the intrigue, you were fighting pirates, you were saving lives, you were Star Trekking it the hell up. It was a lot of fun.
Stepping through random doors.
Yeah.
The ultimate RPG experience.
Yeah.
Half of our team is down a hole, so we get to come back and be like, where were we? Ah, yes, the pit of despair.
The pit of despair. So that'll be in 2 weeks, and stay tuned for more on that. The only announcement that I have for myself personally tonight is Gax Pack, of course, on Saturdays, starting at, I never remember the time. I just show up. It's at 5, I believe.
5.
On Saturdays. Definitely check that out. We were down one Vivka last Saturday. We were all still crawling out of that hole, that crushing hole of despair. But we'll be back up this coming Saturday. That's all I got. What do y'all got? Yeah, Xander.
I've got my normal stuff. I'm storytelling almost every night this week, so check out Shakar over on that Bronze Girls channel. Also, the last couple of episodes of Scoured Stars, our Starfinder RPG on the Paizo official channel, and then Failed Save on Pixel Circus.
Yeah. What's up, Aki?
I'm super excited to announce that next week on Saving Throw Show will be the return of All Games, No Masters Season 2. So get excited because we're going to be getting back to our GM-less shenanigans. Who can tell us no? Absolutely no one. And then in 2 weeks from now, on June 1st, Tuesday at 3 p.m. will be the premiere of my show with Colin Kelly, Indicate, featuring the both of us co-hosting a show called RP Game Changers. We'll be running you through independent tabletop RPGs. It should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for the first game we're playing, but can't tell you about that yet.
Sweet. All right, cool. Anybody got anything else? Power play on Sunday as usual, and then you guys are doing the one-off episodes.
Yes, it will be the final origin story. We just had Omar Najam's, and I did not know about Daily Dale, but this was my introduction. And I think in the Power Play cast Discord, I described the two as having so much chemistry it spilled over the sides of the story mug. It was an absolutely tremendous episode. You should definitely check that out. And so the final Origins episode will be this weekend at 5 p.m. on Sunday here on QueueTimes. And it is featuring not only B. Zelda, but Markia McCarty and Max Isaacson. So we can expect this to be very ordered and non-chaotic. I'm lying. I'm extremely lying.
Those are two very low energy people that don't really do much at the gaming table. I've noticed they really don't,
But experts on space, which will be perfect for Ulez Gali. With that, beyond that, the only thing I have to announce is that the U.S. healthcare system is fundamentally broken, and we should all just trek the stars where they don't put up with that nonsense. And for that, I am excited.
Well, you heard him. Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Clear Skies. After that discussion during credits, I have to say, I really do want to see a grocery store RPG now, where everyone plays vegetables and fruits.
Let me get through Wonderland first, and then
you
we'll
get to
talk.
Wonderland way, but I mean, Sam just had too many good ideas, and now I'm just I want to see the lives of these grocery.
I've given you food for thought.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like we have queued you up for your epilogue for the Wonderland episode.
Oh gosh. Oh, my brain hurts. All right, here we go.
No.
Let me go write some ideas down. You see a little dust settle.
Elsewhere in the universe, in another time, things are not so relaxed as to be able to kick back and throw what ifs around about fun games. In fact, right now, members of the Federation Temporal Agency are crouched low and hiding, watching a rather extraordinary event unfold in front of them on the surface of New Romulus. Before all of you, where we last left off, there is currently a small group of Tholians in their full armor standing before what looks like a shattered hologram that is glitching in and out as it speaks to this Tholian from a few feet in front of it. Both of them are standing before what looks like an ancient crumpled metal archway of some kind. The Tholian that is having this conversation with the shattered hologram is extremely large, much larger than the two that are flanking it. As a result, this one Tholian, who you all know to be a Tholian of some renown, named Commander Vosrex, who is the commander of the Keticus, which is a Tholian dreadnought Tarantula class. The biggest, most powerful ship in the Tholian fleet. it is something recognizable to all of you because researching this mission when you were jumping back in time to this time period, the Catechus is on the radar of the Federation Temporal Agency because the Catechus 2 apparently has been responsible for some temporal incursions. It has time traveled on multiple occasions. Sidebar, this is not unusual for Tholians. Tholians are unusually obsessed with time travel, though no one's been able to truly explain why they're obsessed with it. However, manipulation of the timeline, Tholians haven't really been responsible for any particularly huge incursions over the times of the temporal Cold War that you all have been experiencing. Which makes it even more mysterious as to what it is they're up to and what they're doing. But here you have a pretty dangerous scenario. Vosrix is currently operating what looks like an ancient Federation hologram. It doesn't have any clear facial features. You can see a basic outline of a Federation officer. It might be an old Mark I or Mark II EMH. Hard to say. Whatever it was isn't behaving or speaking like an old school Federation hologram. Instead, it is talking like a glitching holographic program. However, enough of the words are getting out that you have all been able to identify the creature that is speaking through this hologram as being one of the Siratax. Now, as a quick reminder to those who are watching, the Siratax was the race that was using holographic technology to reach back through time. For whatever reason, their ability to manipulate timelines has to be done through photonic projection. They can't exist or travel back through time. Unexplained as to why that is, but they have found a loophole by being able to use holographic technologies from each era that has it. This was the villainous race that nearly killed all of you at Starfleet Academy back when you first joined the Federation Temporal Agency. Stopping them is what got you recruited, and you haven't heard from them since. So it's a bit chilling to see one standing here right now in front of this Tholian, apparently urgently speaking to the Tholian and using words that your universal translator is detecting, which are alarming to say the least. This metal archway that they have unearthed, or New Romulus, has in fact been identified in this conversation as an Iconian gateway. Now, an Iconian gateway was once discovered by the USS Enterprise. Another one was uncovered by the Dominion, which could have been nightmarishly disastrous. Thankfully, that too was dealt with. Iconian gateways are known for being able to open up instantaneous travel to absolutely anywhere in the known universe, making them incredibly powerful. Particularly during the days of the Iconian Empire, it is very referential to the old days of Rome. How did Rome conquer the world? They built roads. Iconian Gateway, same principle. Get an army anywhere you want, as fast as you can. The fact that another Iconian Gateway has been discovered, first of all, this one does not look like the previous ones encountered. The previous Iconian Gateways actually had an elegance to them. This one looks a little more crude. Perhaps it is the frame that is left over from a place that once existed. I mean, the fact that an Iconian Gateway is here must mean that at some point the Iconians inhabited this world during ancient times, which blows up questions as to what the hell else is on this planet. This entire world that Romulans are claiming as their new homeworld since the destruction of the Hobus Star could herald in an entirely new era of technology. Now, being the time kids that you are, you actually have access to that information. However, there is nothing in the historical record indicating that Tholians or Romulans got their hands on the Iconian technology based here on this world. At least not today. There is no reference to the Catechus or Vosrix being on this planet discussing the use or manipulation of an Iconian gateway. The temporal anomaly that you have all been sent here to stop apparently is happening right in front of you. You found it. There's a couple of things that add to this. One, you've encountered Commander Sorex, who we know from our main campaign. In this timeline, far in the future, he has become a commander in the Romulan Navy and has helped the Romulans find a new home and is helping them recolonize here on New Romulus. Was sent out with a search party, brought his son along with him. You guys encountered him when his son ran up ahead and was sent back. But Sorex is here to also investigate the incursions that they've detected far away from the New Romulus colony. So you've encountered him. There's a couple other things in play. The big one is, as a quick reminder, when you were all sent to this time period through your shuttle, you were told that one of the big problems y'all might encounter is the fact that there are converging timelines, that events have lined up in such a way that timelines might actually be crossing each other's paths. Now, it's vastly more complicated than the example I am about to give, but a summary would be a temporal distortion effect is taking place as two timelines are aligning themselves by the events that are taking place. And this almost always happens specifically because of temporal anomalies and people screwing around with the timelines. If there are timelines that work like strings, you screw around with one of them enough, and occasionally what you might end up doing with one of those loose threads is accidentally tying that loose thread around one of the neighboring timelines, and then when you pull the knot tight, they kind of tangle up. You were all warned that there was a possibility that that could happen in this particular instance. They're not world-ending, and the Federation Temporal Time Agency has figured out how to deal with them. It has caused some time slippage to happen. For example, you were all reminded as you arrived here and alerted to the fact that there is now going to be a time slippage effect when you return back to your timeline. There will be a time elapse. So the scheduled timeline of which you will return will inevitably be farther along than when you left. That's not typical, but it's also correctable because Federation Temporal Agency and not a problem. It's been fixed in the past, and it's not a problem. It's just a side effect of the fact that you guys are dealing with some pretty heavy energies right now. All of this is the background noise to where you were all currently crouching in the jungle, watching these three Tholians have a conversation with this hologram. Now, before I set you all loose here, as a quick reminder, ever since your encounter with the Siratax, your old recruiter Daniels has told you that the Siratax is one of the most mysterious of the time-traveling offenders of the time travel anomalies accords. No one understands exactly what their motives are or what they're up to. And that because of this, they tend to be the most dangerous because of the technologies that they employ. There's not a full, true understanding of their enemy. And as a result, they are to be treated highly dangerous. That being said, the Keticus and Vosrax himself is currently listed in your computer databases as being a mild threat. Keticus is not known for being overtly hostile. Difficult to understand and predict for sure, has been hostile in the past, but is not a shoot first, ask questions later type of Tholian. Most Tholians aren't, unless you're in their territory. And who the hell knows when that is, since they shift their borders whenever the hell they feel like it and don't tell anybody. We start now, this final episode of the Time Kids, with all of you crouched down in the jungles here watching all of this happen. And on your communicators, silently stalking into the grass, all of you have just heard the Universal Translator through the high-pitched screeches of the Tholian and this unusual language coming up from the hologram, which, again, for a moment, almost sounds like glitching language being emitted from the hologram itself. The Universal Translator does pick up the words Iconian Gateway, and it's a clear reference to what it is that they're discussing.
Before anyone makes a move, I would like to use my telepathic ability to kind of sense the surface emotions or feelings. Did we lose Eric?
Huh? No, I'm still here.
Oh, it's on Twitch. Sorry. Yeah, I want to, because in the hologram, in the holodeck, I was able to feel the holograms. I could feel the seer attacks through the hologram, so I would like to use my telepathic ability and see that.
Okay. Go.
It's a talent.
That's a thing you just get to do.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think I have to roll for it. It's one of my talents, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's just a thing you get to do. All right. Focusing in on this, you're Cadix, you're specifically looking for at the hologram, right?
Yeah, let's focus on that first.
Okay, so I mean, you can get a read off of both of them. What you're getting from the Siratax, who's currently addressing the Tholian, looking up at this Tholian commander, is desperation and irritation. Almost like this high level of frustration. The Siratax, you get the feeling the Siratax is desperately trying to get something from this Tholian.
Okay.
From Vosrix, you get a swell of multiple layers of all kinds of feelings. It's almost, if interacting as a Betazoid, when you sense the emotions of other people or read thoughts or anything like that, it functions like you're tuning into a wavelength. Mm-hmm. Like you can feel the onslaught of someone's sort of aura of emotion and whatnot. Every time you've ever interacted in this way with a Tholian, it's like somebody shines a light through a prism. You get all sorts of thoughts and emotions and feelings happening all at once, and it's difficult to determine which one the Tholian is going to act on. Mm-hmm. In the case of Vosrix, you get intense suspicion, anger, eagerness, and also irritation.
Okay.
The takeaway from this, Cadix, is the two of them seem to be partnered up, but they don't seem to like each other very much.
Right. There's a lot of tension between this agreement. Okay. Good.
And it's creating quite the ruckus. The hologram, as you were all watching this, you can hear the kind of like staticking noise coming out of this thing as the alien language spills out of the hologram's program. And then, of course, Tholians have a language that, when listened to by just regular organic ears, is very uncomfortable to hear. It is a high-pitched whistle screeching sound that sounds like thousands of nails on chalkboards that just vary in the way that they happen as this sort of reverberation of crystalline effect takes place inside of their bodies. Also worth noting, though, as a quick sidebar, Tholians, y'all would know this too, and this is just this is important to note. You all know by now that Tholians have a telepathic ability themselves, a way to communicate with each other and act as a single unit when they are trying to get something done. It makes them very dangerous and very efficient. So that being said, Cadix, you can probably guess that the two lieutenants that are standing next to Vosrix, they're probably in the same mind frame that Vosrix is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's up, Aki?
As I'm moving up closer, am I able to get a better sense of how the hologram that they're using is being utilized?
I would say yes. I would say, as you kind of snuck around, you're hesitating for a second. As you've seen this hologram, you see a device that it definitely does not belong in this time period. It looks like it's a badge, maybe about this big, doesn't look like your badges. And it doesn't look like a Federation badge of any kind. It looks like some kind of small hollow device, reminiscent of technology that started to appear about 12 years ago and has since evolved into free-roaming holographic emitters today, in your day.
But I don't see how, they're utilizing the hologram in and of itself.
They have it set on the ground.
Okay.
So the hologram is set on the device looks like it's in the grass.
Okay.
And this hologram is being projected upwards, like old Star Wars style. Like there's a small holographic projector and it's just shining straight up.
Is it acting like a translator between the two of them? Is it observing the arch? Like, what is it doing?
The hologram itself looks like it's facing Vosrix. The archway is directly behind it.
Okay.
And what's kind of eerie about the fact that this hologram is glitching is the way it glitches makes it look like a stop animation marionette puppet in action. The way it moves. Its body language and whatnot is somewhat jittery as it's kind of jerking around a little bit. It's using a lot of hand motions as it speaks. You can tell from its body language that it's irritated, but you get the impression that despite the fact the hologram looks glitching, the device seems to be fully powered and working fine.
Okay. I think I'm gonna try as surreptitiously as I can to kind of communicate what I'm seeing back to Cyril.
You can do that.
See if they can kind of pinpoint what's going on.
I would like to do something with that information, yes.
Okay. Okay, that's I think I think that would be an insight engineering check.
Can
Okay.
Can I assist?
Yes, if you want to say that you give a good, solid description of what it is you're observing from your angle, that can definitely help them start trying to like Sherlock together what it is that's happening over there. So I'll set the difficulty for this at 3.
Is this a computer's task of any kind by chance?
Not this task in particular, no. This would be an engineering check for sure.
Is this also an insight check for me?
For you, I'm going to say this is going to be a reason con check.
Okay.
I can't remember the last time I used a reason con check, if I've ever. Not con, because that's for piloting. Make it command. It's like, that doesn't sound right at all.
What was the difficulty?
Matter.
The difficulty is 3. So it's reason command for you.
It's a total it's an extreme no. I even rolled a 20. Like, just I can't overemphasize the amount of no on this check.
And
all right,
there's no help from myself either.
I'm going to activate the threat for rolling the complication.
Cool. Go for it.
Which I know will delight you, Sam.
Just as a quick note, just in case, I don't know what's about to happen, but Jatar has been keeping an eye on for Donnie's cover because Donnie had gone to sneak off. So in case there's any noticing them, that is going to trigger Jatar to do something as well.
Whose cover? Sorry?
For Donnie.
My cover.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's my boyfriend's nickname for
him. Yeah. I was like, I have Donnan.
Donnan, yes.
Okay. It happens pretty quickly as you're communicating this. You're giving as much of a detailed description as you can to Cyril, and as about like 5 words into the description of what you're saying, it seems to be a small device. But there's this feedback that immediately strikes everybody's earpiece. Everyone hears it instantly, and you see a reaction from the Tholians as it seems like the hologram, as it's communicating, immediately picks up the channel and rebroadcasts it instantly as it's talking. Because the hologram stops, opens its mouth, and as it's glitching, and all of you start hearing Donnan's voice coming out of the hologram's mouth before all of a sudden the Tholians react. The next thing that happens is the Tholians begin to... There's these thudding noises as Vosrix goes and turns in the direction of everybody. It doesn't look like they've spotted everybody. They definitely know you're here because arm cannons come out of both Tholians. It looks like their version of phaser rifles essentially unfold from the sides of all 3 of them. And the hologram doesn't move. It stands perfectly still where it is, doesn't react.
So, are the arm candies pointed at me, or are they pointed at the stealth group? Because we have split the party.
Doesn't look like it's pointed at anybody. Now, the activating the threat means they know you're here. They still have not seen you all. You're very well hidden. But you do hear Sorex through the universal translator say something in Romulan that is very, very not safe for work. As all of this takes place, he ducks low and then basically asks, what the hell is going on?
Failed packet injector attempt, but look, our communication got into the hologram, so that might actually be a point of entry. If you can cover me, I can try to hack this.
You can hear a robotic noise coming through the universal translator of the Tholian saying, identify yourselves, as screeching in the background. What's up, Ravity? What were you going to say?
I was gonna say I've got you covered, Cyril.
Thanks, friend.
Vosdrix takes a couple of steps forward and starts sweeping one of those arms across the tree lines. Doesn't open fire, just... You're not sure if he's scanning, if he's trying to make a threatening gesture. It's hard to say with a Tholian. What do y'all do?
Tholians are okay. As someone who is very new to the Star Trek, Tholians are a very interesting species. It's like, what are they doing?
Tholians are one of my favorite species. When Jackson decided to include Tholians in year 5, I got so fucking excited.
What are they?
They are one of the most underused species, in my opinion, in Star Trek.
I love it.
Are you familiar with what they look like, Rave?
I do. They're giant crystalline creatures.
Yeah,
right?
with multiple, they have these spider-like legs.
Like praying mantis, but if praying mantis were made out of crystals as well.
Yeah. Giant. They're really, really cool. They have to live up to about 480 degrees Kelvin is the temperature it needs to be around them at all times.
Amazing.
Highly dangerous, yeah.
So I know, so Stark, this is a stupid question, but have we scanned the actual archway yet, or have
not
we
yet? No,
the archway.
No one's gotten a chance to scan the archway yet.
Scan the archway, please.
You do. I mean, combat hasn't broken out or anything. You do have the opportunity to do it, and you haven't done anything yet. So, while this is happening, Thran, you're like, I'm going to take this chance because shit might be about to happen. Go ahead and make a reason science check. And with the lower difficulty of your tricorder, I'm going to set it at 3.
Okay. Well.
Denobulin power, activate.
Denobulin power. Oh, do you say reason science?
Yeah.
Basically,
your best stat?
Oh,
wait, you're not Lacat?
I'm not Lacat. So I've got look. You know what? I'm going to actually try, because this feels really important. I'm going to go ahead and burn a value right now, if possible. It says look twice at everything. If that can be used in this situation. Because I only got 2 successes on my roll, and I would like this to be a successful roll. So
we also had momentum. Did you use the momentum?
Oh shoot! You know what?
Extra die?
No, because I took. I took cautious this time around, but it was for.
But you could still use momentum to buy an extra die.
Yes, then I would like to go ahead and buy an extra die.
Okay.
So, we're down to 5.
Yes. Okay. Great. 3 successes.
All right. So what you discover first of all,
without burning your value, right? So
yes,
you still have your value. Aha! Just wanted to clarify.
So what you discover is
my value in this situation. I'm like, I'm going to look twice at that.
First of all, the scene had a trait that you were not aware of because no one had scanned for that yet. There was sensor interference that you immediately identify being caused by the hologram. You can see that there is an energy pattern being emitted by the hologram to sort of try to cloak what they're doing here. Not working too well against you guys as technology, probably decently against the Romulans, but not so much y'all. So you cut right through the sensor interference, and as a result of the success of that roll, that trait is going to be removed from the scene. Normally you have to spend momentum to do that. In the case, so it's easy enough to compensate when you see what the interference is. Here's what you get from the Iconian Gateway. It is indeed an Iconian Gateway. It absolutely matches the description of every Iconian Gateway that's been documented. By now, the Federation Temporal Agency has documented multiple Iconian Gateways all throughout reality, at least your timelines. You do know that there are some timelines, specifically ones that branch off from the finding of New Romulus, that eventually leads to the return of the Iconians and an Iconian war breaking out across the galaxy. Whether or not this could be a tipping point or an acceleration moment here is uncertain, but what you get here, Thran, I almost called you Shran. Thran, what you get here is that this particular gateway looks like it has been almost completely rendered inoperable. The one thing it seems to be lacking is repair of some kind to reactivate it, but it looks like the technology of this era would be incapable of reactivating this gateway.
Okay, so you said rendered inoperable.
Mhm.
Does that mean that it looks like it's been purposefully sabotaged? Like someone has like tried to make it inoperable? Or is it more of a, we're just going to shut this down forever?
You want to take information spend?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You are able to deduce that it looks like it probably happened over the course of millennia.
Okay.
This thing was probably damaged simply from the passage of time. This was discovered behind a large boulder and has since been moved. Your guess is it's just after a few 100,000 years or so, or however long it's been here, this thing succumbed to the environment. Maybe that boulder fell on it a couple of thousand years ago. It's hard to say, but it doesn't look like, your guess is it doesn't look like it was deliberately rendered inoperable. It looks like it succumbed.
It's just regular passage of time.
Yeah.
So she learns all this, and I think that is she closest to Cyril right now? I think she is.
You were next to Cyril, I believe.
Yeah, so I'm going to relay this information to Cyril, and then be like, also, next time, I think that we should learn how to blink Morse code, because in situations like this would be really helpful to transfer information to people who are standing far
Morse code? I don't speak that language.
It's
the Andorian cocks their head to the side, looks at you kind of confused.
dots and dashes thing. Anyway, I've got your back.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can get a packet injector.
Sorex just says, you remind me of someone, I can't think of who. Again, there is a screeching noise as Vorex takes a couple of steps forward again and sweeps the tree line. And I'm going to roll for him.
I don't suppose that's a contested roll with anyone, is it?
I mean, it would be if Cyril activated their sensor jammer.
I mean, I see the scanning. If I look over to the stealth party and try to sort of take their temperature, is that a do or is that don't? Because like the last thing I want to do is potentially pop something off that might not otherwise pop. So if someone's inclined to go up and social or want to try to just hide this out, I don't want to make it extraordinarily obvious, especially because we can't take it for granted that this won't be seen as an aggressive act with Tholians, because using a toothpick can be considered an aggressive act with Tholians. I learned that one in school.
Not the toothpick of destiny. Destroy them.
Exactly. So if I look over, what do I see from stealth party? Y'all want to hide it out?
Donnan isn't making any moves.
Yeah, Donnan looks like you're kind of laying low, just kind of like freezing.
I think once Jatar sees that Cyril might be struggling on deciding what to do, he looks over to Envar, and the two of us, we actually break away for a third party to create a distraction. So we take off sprinting in the opposite direction, purposefully making noise so that a sensor wouldn't be needed.
Okay, so Enver nods to you. The two of you up and dash in the opposite direction, making all sorts of noise as the bushes shuffle, and the two of you bolt in clear sight of the Tholians and presumably the hologram.
And we're still dressed in as Romulan like civilians.
Curious. As you bolt, Inver makes the same observation because instinctively Inver looks back to find out, do I need to start ducking and rolling and dodging incoming fire? The Tholians watch you run. They do not give chase. You see them stiffen a little bit as the two of you dash deeper into the jungle, and Vosrix takes one step forward like he's trying to get a view of what it was that he just witnessed. And the two of you dash off. The hologram starts basically starts having a bit of a fit. Gets loud and starts saying something to the Tholians. The Tholians don't react to the hologram, however, and they do not open fire on either one of you as you dash into the jungle. They just watch you run.
Now that there is a distraction, I want to hack a hologram.
Okay.
This is something that I did as a kid when I joined the agency, and obviously because it's an EMH, there's some code basis that I know, even though the emitter itself is a different technology.
Not to mention, you've had experience dealing with these bastards before now. You had to use the holodeck to save your lives back when everything got real. I think it's thematically appropriate to take that into account here.
And also, we just did it by accident. We just accidentally got our communicator information through the hologram from that complication. It's how I know there's an in.
Presumably it was an accident.
Well, if it was someone else's intention, I can still take advantage of it. The point is, there is a method of ingress.
Yes, I would say you've definitely detected somebody has logged into the Starbucks Wi-Fi, and you can try to access for here. Definitely can do that, and you do have familiarity with these holographic creatures. So yes, I would say you do have an entryway to interact here.
Okay, then I will make my hack check.
Okay. So make your roll. What are you rolling for that? That's control computers, is that correct? You're using control...
It can be
control security.
Science or control security or control engineering or reason, any of the above. We're good. Cyril hacks.
It can be control engineering, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was the worst possible one.
Yeah. I was like, how would this go down? And I'm like, this is totally something Jordy would try. So yeah, I would say control.
Cool. Because I don't have cautious for that. I have cautious for science because I'm a scientist. But it is a computer check, which is nice.
Difficulty is 3.
All right, I'm going to take a momentum.
Yes, we're at 3.
All right.
And because I'm attempting a task that involves a program or a studying of a computer, I roll an additional d20 from computer expertise. Cool. So I have good news.
Okay.
I figured out which die needs to be retired.
Uh-oh!
I have more good news. I do succeed the check.
But you got a 20?
Uh-huh.
Excellent. So 2 things happen. First of all, using your age technology, you were instantly able to gain access to this small hollow emitter. And it takes you just a few seconds to just slip around. Oh man, they just don't know who they're dealing with. It takes you just a few moments to slip around the protocols and activate. This hollow emitter apparently is from a few hundred years ago. It's easy to actually hack through that. It's a hodgepodge of technologies that have probably been stolen from across timelines. How the Tholians came into it, who the hell knows? But this hologram has been using it to communicate with them. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens on that complication is it knows you are there immediately, Cyril, and does something rather unexpected. First of all, you detect multiple signals being broadcast into this from outside of the timeline. The next thing that happens is it immediately severs the connection and goes dark. And the hologram goes and shuts off.
We're only at 3. Okay. Would y'all mind if I took one of these remaining 3 for an obtain information to try to identify the timeline that it was coming from?
Not at all. Take it. Now we have
Good
2.
call.
Good call.
Because we have all of this like time trackers. It's like what freelancers use, but different.
We also had the ship's computers monitoring the convergence as well.
Exactly, and I want to see whether it matches that one or whether it's a distinct timeline. We have the ability to bounce around them. So I want to take advantage of that one moment before it disconnects, since I did succeed the check, to find out this information.
I'm going to spend a point of threat here. And I'm going to say, in order to cross-reference that information, you're going to have to use your temporal observatory. You're going to have to activate a visual representation for the computer to actually get a sense of where and when this thing came from. So you're going to have to use your Time Kids tech in order to do it. You don't have to send the entire space into a holographic representation of time travel, but you're going to have to use your advanced tech to do what you're trying to do right now.
Cool. So can I get the obtain information momentum back? Because Sorex is right over my shoulder. I can't do that right now. It would give up the everything.
I would say. So first of all, you can get the obtain information check because you're trying to get this information. If you're going to get it, the threat spend is going to make. I mean, it's deliberately to include the complication of Sorex being nearby. If you want to get the information without Sorex seeing, I'm basically adding the condition that you can get that information, but you're either going to have to leave where you are right now, or like either moves into another hiding space to activate that, or have somebody distract Sorex from what you're doing, essentially adding time to what you're doing.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, y'all, but of everyone here, Cyril has not seen the point of flying to Sorex. There's chronotons. We show up with no explanation. He's not a dummy. And he's been clear that we're lying.
It's also worth pointing out that even Daniels was like, "Hey, Archer, here's where I'm from, and here's like why I need your help."
Exactly. It's not an overt. You're allowed to reveal that you're a time agent, and frankly, it was the clearest possible explanation of who we are. So, despite everyone really, really, really trying to lie to Sorex, Cyril has been the least apt for it. So, you know what? I will accept the complication, and Sorex can find out. That's fine.
In my defense, I came in late and just kind of had to wing it.
And Cadix would absolutely do that, where I think Cyril, like, they're different people.
In our defense, I would like to say we did try to lie to him pretty well, just because we didn't lie well.
You lied well.
Yeah. In which case, I'll say, go ahead and get your momentum back. And in return, what question would you like to know? You would like to know specifically what time frame, what time period it came from?
Yeah, and you were also saying out of timeline. Basically, what's the time sitch? My muted friend.
Yes. So what you get is immediately as you activate this, a small cloud appears in your palm. This hologram. This is all, of course, happening while all the chaos is breaking loose in front of all of you. And Sorex does turn and glance at it, and you see all these threads. All of you can see, anybody who's nearby Cyril right now would see the threads and the timelines. You see an intersection has already taken place, Cyril, between the timelines that y'all are in and the one that this technology apparently is from. It's from a few years prior, definitely in the timeline of the temporal Cold Wars, which is kind of where y'all are at right now. It's maybe the late 28th century time travel tech. Not the best. It is based off of early Federation holographic technology. It looks like it's been reworked and reworked and reworked. Probably an antique from its era that has been redesigned. You can already kind of piece together in your head what this probably was. Somebody had an antique piece of technology that they refashioned an old piece of Federation technology back together and then probably sold it on a market and sold it on a market and sold it on a market. There's nothing particularly special about this piece of technology. However, it is being used as a channel point for these creatures to broadcast through. That's where the uniqueness came into it. Because you got that back, the complication that was enacted, I'm going to go ahead and say you detected it as you're looking through this. They basically Aikido'd your signal. So as you're sitting there looking at the fact that you've gained access to this, you realize that they've gained access to your internal computer system that you have in the palm of your hand. They have no way of interacting. They have no way of activating it or using it, but they have access. And you can see that they're trying to find out who and what you are with limited success. It's mostly just like the Tholians have kind of spotted that you're here. Now these creatures have spotted that you're here, is the mechanical side effect of this. So they have a little bit more information. They are aware that probably temporal operatives are in the area. So think of it like a sonar ping. They were able to discover the thing that was accessing our communications device is not from this time period.
Or like when Frodo puts the ring on and then Nazgul can see him.
Not nearly as detailed, but yes, it's essentially like, think of it more like the ring wraiths know that it's that way. Like the Siritex know that you're here now. They just don't know where. That's the complication.
A quick question. Is the Catechus, the ship, is that nearby at all?
Supposedly it's in orbit. The Catechus,
in orbit.
Yeah, supposedly it's in one of the far sides of the planet, utilizing the poles as well as its own stealth technologies to sort of evade the Romulans. Whether it's been successful or not, that's unknown.
I just want to visually think of Jatar and Donan just running aimlessly through the jungle still, going like...
It's Enver.
And Venver.
But yeah.
Oh, Venver, that's right. But just like running aimlessly, just going like, are they behind us? Like
the two Vulcans
just like taking off
calmly.
Still.
Yeah.
But no, speaking of, we're going to circle back as if we're going to sort of pincer from the other side, as if people were going to make an attack from where we were hiding, we would come in from the other side. Okay, so Inver nods to you. She understands exactly what you wanted to do, and the two of you just break off and circle back around through the jungle. And assumedly, Donan would be in on this plan as well. This easy to communicate. I have a focus in attack patterns as well. Just throwing that out there. Okay, cool.
And I have combat tactics. So.
All right, so y'all are getting up you're setting up a perimeter basically around this. Exactly. Okay. No point in hiding the fact that you're here. At this point, you're like, well, then we're just going to protect the away team kind of deal. All right. Miraculously, aside from the hologram being deactivated, nothing has changed in the situation yet. Vosrix is still scanning the tree line. Cyril, you have uncovered the information that there is an intersection of the timeline and that you have been detected. But the hologram has shut down.
Question about that and about the time tech you mentioned that we have. Yeah. And its capacity to do jumpy things.
Yes.
And the timeline we just identified.
Yes.
Can I put those pieces of information together and do a jump?
And do a jump in the timeline?
We said we could.
In the other timeline.
Can we in this?
In the other, I'm not sure I understand what you're asking.
Can I use the tech to jump to the time stream I just identified the Siritex as being from? Like we just kind of localized?
Oh, you're trying to get a point of origin on the Siritex themselves.
I mean, that was what the obtained information was for.
Okay, cool. Yes, you can't. Well, it's difficult to get a point of origin. The Siritex apparently are from your timeline. So they're from this time stream. If two rivers are intersecting, they're from the one you are from. So you can take that information for sure.
Cool. So that's definitely within our capacity to hop, skip, and jump.
Yes.
If it's our own time stream.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I look over my shoulder to Thran, because we're like 2-2-2 right now. We're 2-2-3 technically, because Oryx is right here. Point at the time streams in my palm. You up for a hop? We could hop this. We could hop this right now. We could find the point of origin.
Let's go.
Do you want to take your team with you?
This is another situation where Morse code blinking would have come in so handy.
That's not one of the programming languages I know.
Screeching sound of the Tholian impatiently demanding you all to emerge from the bushes.
Shelby, let's get everyone on comms.
Hey, everyone, I think we localized where the seer attacks are in the time stream.
It seems like a pretty easy jump. I think we should do it.
Anyone who wants to rendezvous and go after them directly, meet me at... Well, you know where I am. I didn't move.
Acknowledged. We'll
Alternatively, because of the tech levels, you guys, remember, can site-to-site transport too.
Right. Bloop.
Yeah, I think there's a moment where, as Enver and I are running, we just look at each other and we site-to-site transport at the same time, directly next to Cyril.
Sorax hasn't said a word, but it looks like the understanding has finally dawned on him, and he's quietly watching all of this.
Does Sorax get to go on a field trip? We can't just leave him here all alone.
No, we absolutely should leave him alone. If anyone can handle the Tholians here and now, it's someone who actually knows this place.
And unless he's being recruited, that would be a breach of the temporal prime
No,
directive.
I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is
going on a field trip. It was
Yeah, gotcha.
Sorry. Yeah,
that's okay. But I was like, I'm in character now.
So what would y'all like to do? Would y'all like to do it all the party gonna hop?
I'll look to Sorax then to that effect, since this was an out of character, and say, we're gonna go after the point of origin. Can you contain this?
He glances at the agitated-looking Tholian commander and says, "It's why I was sent here, but I'm guessing whatever it is you're about to do, the real problem has been rectified? Or is about to be?"
It will have been.
I don't need to know anymore. Well, this was interesting.
It really is a lovely jungle. Probably would have been nice to find a place to live.
Well, that answers my question as to whether or not you're actually Romulans.
Best to remember us as Romulans.
So
We're really Romulan.
Raises his hand and says, "I understand."
Yes, us Romulans, as I did last time. I'm just not going to say anything. You know what? I'm just going to mute myself.
Sorax stands up and begins to approach the Tholian. He just stands up rather suddenly and abruptly and begins to walk out of the bushes. He is in full uniform. He's wearing the greens and golds of the Romulan Republic. He has the leather, instead of those really obnoxious pointy shouldered things that the old Romulan Navy used to have.
You mean glorious?
Glorious. Instead, it has this like leather shoulders. It's a very sharp uniform. Folds across like a tunic. Leather breeches on as he approaches, and the big thick boots. He comes stalking over proudly, showing down. I mean, these Tholians tower over him in their full armor. But Sorax approaches and says, the last you hear of him before y'all do a jump, you hear him say, "Julon True." And you all jump the timeline. each one of you fading out of existence and popping back into existence somewhere completely different along the timeline, somewhere completely different in the galaxy. All 6 of you appear in what looks like this glossy floored metal. It's a room about 20 by 20, dimly lit. Judging from the look of it, it looks like a holodeck. The floors have the obvious telltale signs of like technology wired underneath it. It looks like it's like this sort of bluish metal that's smooth, yet somehow still has sort of the detail that looks like it would be textured somehow. It's almost as if somebody applied like a skin to, like if this was a computer program, somebody just basically applied a skin to the floor to make it look like tech. Only as y'all are standing upon it, you can tell that it is in fact this metal, this metal material. And the blue ambience that's reflecting off of all of it. You're not sure if it's emitting a blue light itself or if it's just reflecting its natural metallurgic sort of color palette to the metal itself. The room's 20 by 20. It's a perfect square. Goes all the way up. The ceiling is towering over your heads. From what you could tell, there's nobody else in this room with y'all. But the room itself seems to pulsate with energy.
Immediately as we land, just a flip scan.
All right, you start immediately scanning. You're detecting, I would say make a reason science check on this.
I will also, particularly, Jatar is doing a scan for threats in a security fashion. I will do.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was actually going to do the same because I have constantly watching the talent.
That's better.
When you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1.
That's great. I'll assist in that then.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make your roll, your reason science check here. And I'll set the difficulty for this at 1.
Would this be more of a security check for me because I'm trying to detect threats and danger?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say reason security.
Good. I'm going to take momentum as well. And what was the difficulty?
It's 1, so this is a good chance to gain back some momentum.
It was dropped down. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. That would be 4 successes because 1 was a natural crit. Ooh.
+1 from Jatar.
Okay. You're detecting pieces of technology from across the timelines. Jatar, you detect all sorts of amalgam of like technologies from across Federation technology. You're detecting Bajoran technologies. Like you're detecting energy frequencies from across the spectrum of all kinds of races from across the alpha and beta quadrants. You do detect some Dominion level technology, and there is the unmistakable presence of Borg tech here as well. It looks like somebody has plugged in all kinds of a mishmash of tech from across time periods to form what it is you are in now. You also detect that there is nothing outside. This is a cube that is currently floating somewhere in space. The exterior is precisely 60 meters on the other side of every surface of this room. It's like you're inside of a metal block that is floating somewhere in space. You can't get a triangulation as to where.
As this information is coming in, Jatar seems to get lost a bit in thought and just turns to anyone who's listening and says something along the lines of, eventually, in the development of species and technology, there is a need or a desire to preserve. We've seen this in plant life, in animal life. This seems to be a smattering of preserved technology from various species and perhaps even times.
Almost like a collection or a museum of some kind.
I know, it gives me the creeps.
Yeah, museums freak me out too. I know I found the right place, but I want to scan for Sirota, like scan for beings, scan for life forms. Something led us here. I know I got the right place.
Mm-hmm.
So where is it?
You got the right place, Cyril. Do you want to run another scan?
Yeah.
I'd like to take a slightly different tack from Cyril. Like, they're looking specifically for the seer attacks. I want to look through like the various items that seem to be displayed here and see if there is anything that like particularly stands out as out of place.
Okay. That I think would be an insight engineering check or science if you have that, whichever you'd prefer of the two.
Is this a very dusty place? Are we going to see any footprints in the dust?
No dust. In fact, this place is clean. It clearly has fully functioning life support.
Okay.
The air is cool inside. It's not stale. It is just a giant, dark, ambient, glowing blue metal room. Okay, so what?
Sam called their check first, but you did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Cyril, what are you trying to do? You're trying to do.
I'm tricordering, like I'm doing the general science lol.
Okay.
Particularly with an eye to finding the Serotax and like signal origin that brought us to this point. So
okay,
tricords out.
Definitely a reason science check then. Yeah.
Awesome. Let me use one of those fresh momentum. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 3.
Cool. Tricorder is a little voice that pops it down to 2. Cool. It sounded like a balloon when the air goes out.
Did you just roll a bunch of 20s?
No, I only rolled 1, and because I have cautious science, it rerolls. But look, it's a D&D die. I know that now.
D&D. All right.
Oh, hey. Awesome. Thank goodness this was a reason science check, because that means I got 3 successes, which means we get 1 momentum back up because I lowered it from the tricorder, which brings us back to 5.
So you're trying to get confirmation that this is where I'm sorry, real quick, just so we can be as specific as possible, what were you trying to find out from the scan that you just made successfully?
The Serotax who produced the signal that we were tracking to come here in the first place.
You are definitely where it originated from.
But I can't find like a life sign or an energy signature that matches.
You're definitely finding energy signatures that match, yes. This entire place is like a living computer room. You're detecting the energy signatures from all. You can definitively say that you are standing inside of what appears to be some kind of holographic matrix that is just floating in space. Like somebody just created a block of like a holodeck block with no doors or windows and just toss it into the void is kind of what your scans are telling you. You're also detecting a lot of chronotonic energy outside. This place has been consistently used as like a radio tower for time travel.
I relay that. I can definitively say that this is a time museum.
Out of nowhere, Jitar just says, "Computer, activate program."
Nothing happens.
Dang it.
Can I make my check now?
Yes.
Cool. Was it reason engineering you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would also like to buy a die with momentum.
All right.
And what's my difficulty?
Difficulty, this is also 3.
Ooh,
Pretty much dealing
okay.
with the tech on this thing. It's so unusual.
This should be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't succeed, but that was better than I expected it to be. I got 2 out of those 3. So.
Okay. So what you're able to glean as you pace about the room, you're hearing Cyril kind of spill all this information that they just got from their scan. Dunnan, as you move throughout this strange room, you run your hands across the walls. Again, the walls look textured. It looks like you should be running your hands up and down grooves in the walls. But it's like it's behind glass or something because everything is completely smooth. You see each channel, these pulses of energy flowing through these little lit pathways that arc throughout the entire place, giving this place almost the look of like a heartbeat. But you're not able to determine what it is you're inside or what it is the purpose of any of this stuff. It looks so familiar as technology goes, but so completely useless. Like, what is its purpose? Where are the holographic emitters in this place? You're not seeing evidence of any of it.
I'm an idiot.
This place is gross.
Can I feel anything telepathically? As I'm sitting here, we're all scanning technology. There could be little invisible life forms all around us.
You start to focus your telepathic skills to try to reach out and feel if you can detect anybody's presence there. And you were overwhelmed immediately.
Oh, crap, I knew it.
As you sort of reach out and open yourself up to see if anyone's there, Cadix, you suddenly hear millions of voices pouring into your head. It drowns out the sound of everything around you. Conversations, it's pure chaos. You can't make out what you're hearing. All of you see Cadix. Suddenly his eyes go wide and a gasp come out of her mouth as she kind of freezes up for a second. I'm gonna need you to make a roll here. And I'm gonna need you to I'm gonna go ahead just because of, to make this a little more balanced, I'm gonna say that this whole scene is taking place because I'm gonna spend 2 threat for it. So
I would, if possible, would I be able to spend momentum? Jatar is going to jump in with an emergency mind meld to try to help.
Okay, yeah. I think y'all have been a team long enough, and you actually did this once before. So,
I think so. Yeah.
You actually did this once before, so you recognize the telltale signs of Cadix having a synaptic overload. Their telepathic ability is currently causing them. You can see the expression on her face is terrifying because you can see that she has slipped away. There is a face on that body, but it's not Cadix. She is gone. She just kind of eyes widen. You rush in. I'm going to have you make a roll real quick, Cadix, and then you can assist on this.
Okay.
So for Cadix, this is going to be wild, but I'm going to say this is going to be a control science check for you.
Science, okay.
Or a control command.
Okay.
The wisdom saving throw of STA.
Yeah, basically. And for you, our mind melder, Jatara, I'm going to say this for you. This is going to be an insight command check.
Perfect. Love it.
And the difficulty of this is... What are you attempting to do, Jatar?
Okay.
Are you trying to pull her out of it?
Yes. You said like the face that we saw wasn't Cadix. I'm searching for Cadix to bring her back.
Okay, then I'm going to set the difficulty of this at 2.
Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead and make your roll, Bonnie, and go ahead and do your assist, Xander. As the library bards try to save each other.
Hey, I got 2.
I got a success.
Okay, so gain a momentum. It's Xander. It's a lot like when somebody is about to slip and fall, and you catch them right before their head hits the ground. Cadix. It's almost like Cadix is about to get pulled into an undertow, into like a dangerous wave at the beach, and you manage to grab a hold of her and pull her back. As you do, you also hear the faint onslaught of voices. You manage to pull her free, and the two of you, Cadix, when your eyes shoot back open, Jatar has his hands on you in a mind meld, and both of your eyes shoot open. And the two of you come back.
I'm just going to look at all of them and be like, we're not alone.
Who did you hear?
Too many. I'm not sure if if they're all in here, or if it's the technology connecting them all together, or
It seems like we're at some sort of nexus.
it's like an entire civilization in my head.
That's too big a party. Sorry, Thran.
No theme is going to fix this.
We should try and figure out what the source is. There's
Maybe
something weird about this place. It feels familiar while also feeling unfamiliar. Is anybody else getting that?
Yes.
I can't put my finger on it, and I wish I could figure out exactly where the origin point of the origin point is. Does that make sense?
Yes. Who does this belong to? Is this one species collection? Is this an entity? Is this the last remaining technologies? It is a mystery.
It all appears to be one room, one consistent size, but what if this is also some sort of illusion?
Perhaps a disruption then. And Jatar will pull out a phaser, and on the stun setting, just check hitting one of the walls.
The beam lances out from the tip of the phaser, striking one of the walls. Doesn't seem to have any inherent effect. You do see what looks like a ripple play across the surface of the wall for a moment before it goes.
I'll increase the setting on the phaser and shoot again.
Jeez. All right, you. I would say spend at that point. I would say the phaser loses 2 points of power.
Okay.
There is, this time the beam is much more pronounced. The sound of the beam is higher pitched, and you can see the impact on the wall has that same rippling effect. But you also see the room itself begins to, you can see lights begin to play across the surface.
As this is happening, Jatar will quickly move up and test the wall that he had shot. Is it emanating heat? Did it absorb heat?
You don't even have to touch it. As you're getting closer, you can feel the superheating take place. Even though it was on the stun setting, it was a steady beam. So as you approach it, stun settings, of course, especially if you're going to maintain the beam, can still be dangerous. And as you get a little bit closer, you can definitely feel the heat has been dissipating rapidly. But as you approach, it did make impact and it did have a reaction. Because in reaction to this, as your hand is hovering above the surface, you all hear what sounds like high-heeled shoes coming down a hallway. Clomping down the hall.
Is there an overt door?
No, but there is somebody approaching you all from the other side of the room.
It sounds like Commander Miller from the Academy. I'd never forget those heels.
Jatar will keep this phaser out on the stun setting and whip around.
There is
Donan's going to try and find some cover.
You can take cover behind one of your friends, but that's the only cover in the room.
I thought like all of the pieces of technology were kind of like up on shelves or something like that.
They should be. It looks like it looks like the technology should have dimension, but it all is behind what looks like a glass wall.
Okay, all right. That's where I kind of missed.
Yeah. It's creating sort of like a visual optical illusion where it looks like y'all should be walking on a textured three-dimensional space, but it's all underneath a single one-dimensional, or rather two-dimensional, like flat round, like ground.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, there is
Jatar's back.
There is a figure emerging from the dark, walking towards all of you. Not high-heeled shoes, looks like dress shoes of some kind.
We can see the shoes of the person. Can we see the face of the person?
The silhouette as they approach, and when they finally come to a stop, what you see is a figure. It looks like a late 24th century Federation uniform, and the face is flickering, going. And every time it flickers, you see one of your faces. It's like somebody is spinning the face on the top, on like a spinning top, and it stops for a second and it'll spin again to another face.
Okay, I'm gonna try talking to it. Hello? Does it react in any way when I'm going to step forward?
You see your face appear on its surface suddenly as you say hello, and in your voice, Thran, you hear, "How did you find us? How did you find us?"
We have some very smart people on our team. Are you okay?
We are dead now.
Dead.
Yes.
What happened?
You killed us.
When?
Soon.
I'm going to take a step back. Who's closest to me right now?
Who wants to be?
Cyril?
Yeah, we were near.
I think you should try talking to it. I want to try something.
Hi. I'm Cyril Tatarek.
You see the face shift to your Cyril, and they go, "Hi."
Whoa.
It's weird, right?
Do I really sound like that?
No, you sound better. You sound more you than that thing does. I'd like to try and scan this thing with my tricorder.
Easy enough. The moment you start scanning, you detect this is in fact exactly what you think it is. This apparently is a Serotax. It has the exact same energy signature. It is a holographic projection of some kind.
Cool. Can I see if there's any change in change in the thing that's standing in front of me when I stand in front of it and when Cyril stands in front of it?
Doesn't seem to be, no. It looks like it's the impression you're getting is that it's cycling through its ways of communicating.
Okay, copy. So it's purely superficial. It's not actually like
correct.
There's this.
You're happy to report that Cyril's face is still on their body.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think that it just takes our faces as a way of communicating. I don't think there's any time wibbly wobbliness with it.
That's not my face. There aren't even antennae, because it's still Romulan.
How did we kill them?
If Cyril... Yeah.
Yeah, how did we kill you? Why did we kill you? Why will we kill you? What'd you do? Did you hurt us?
The face shifts. Alarming Inver for a moment as it shifts to Inver. And her head lowers, and in a very logical way, she says, "We tried to stop you. We knew you would be our end. We thought we could, perhaps before you were recruited into the Federation Temporal Agency. We were not successful. We knew this moment would come. We did not know when. We were unable to see, and now we must die."
I'm going to. Oh, sorry. I was like, I'm gonna look at Tatar, kind of just give him a glance, knowingly, like basically letting him know, like I'm going back in, and I want to kind of center myself, close my eyes, and I'm going to dive back into the voices and burn a value, which is listen closely, learn carefully, and I want to try and hear. I want to try and pick up on like who are they. I'm just trying to pick up on any information I can that's going to help solidify these clues.
I'm gonna to do what I'm gonna. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lot like reaching into a fireplace to grab something out of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I can let you do this, and you will get the information. But I am going to spend threat, and this is going to cause stress damage to you.
Okay. I'm just gonna stand closer to Jatar.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and roll, but I'm gonna make it a roll. So you might take nothing.
Okay.
Or you might take a lot. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and roll. Just to be completely transparent, I'm rolling 4 dice.
Great. Do I roll anything? I should probably roll something, for fun.
Nope, this is damage.
Oh.
You have elected to take damage because you are basically diving back into that sea of psychotic energy that is like flowing through this place. There is so much happening all at once. So You are going to need to spend momentum to shrug off an injury.
Oof,
As
I will.
I rolled 5.
We have momentum.
Yeah, I will roll. And does burning a value help at all?
Yes. With that value, I'm going to give you exactly what you were asking for without having you to even roll for anything. You just get it.
Okay.
The consequence is you get dinged for it. So once again, you decide to brave the rivers of voices that are flowing through this place when you open yourself up to them psychically. As it happens, again, the psychic energy, you can feel it flooding into you in billions of voices. You were so off your estimation the first time. Because the first time it just sounded like someone took 2 headphones, put them against your ears, and cranked it past 11 on static. And it flooded you. This time, you focus on one thing. Like, imagine if for a split second you were able to survive standing in the winds of an F5 tornado. And you reached out and grabbed someone who was flying past you, and you were able to grab them and pull them down. That's kind of the same chaotic, painful, maddening effect that takes place as you reach out and grab hold of something. And all it is, it's not a person, it's a voice.
Okay.
You hear in your mind as the din of voices die down for a split second before you pull yourself back out of it. Cadix, you hear what sounds like a young girl having a conversation with her mom, asking her mother about the names of stars. And you're hearing answers. Well, this one's named after our goddess. And you're hearing the mother have this conversation. And that's it. That's all it is. For you, it lasts maybe a few moments of, it sounds like, judging from the sounds you can hear, you're hearing the experience. You're hearing it from the perspective of this young girl. You feel the wonderment and adoration of a young girl that wants to know if she can go to those stars one day. She's having this conversation with her mother, and you're getting the sensation that the two of you are preparing food together for your birthday. And when your eyes shoot open, your head is throbbing, and there's a little trickle of blood coming out of your nose as you have fallen over to the ground.
Okay.
You're looking up at the ceiling. The voice you heard sounded very similar to an untorn, unstatic version of Siratek's language.
Okay. So. Okay. So doesn't. I have so many questions still. Okay.
Yeah. Almost instantly, Inver is by your side, trying to help you up, cradling your head and slowly lifting you. And are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm gonna look at the hologram, and basically find out. Oh my gosh, words.
You get the feelings of the hologram immediately when you look at the hologram. Is afraid. It's scared of all of you. It doesn't look like it, but you can feel the fear and sadness.
It's like, we don't want to kill anyone.
Yes, you do. You regret having to do it, but you will want to.
Why?
What has
Because you
happened that
must.
would... Nothing. That's... Must is a really strong word. So far,
Yes.
we're not seeing anything that tells us we must do anything.
You will learn that our purpose is to exterminate an entire species so that we might live.
So in turn, we must exterminate you? That seems
Messed up.
illogical.
You make
That
that
too.
argument. The hologram nods and says, you make that argument, and you wrestle with this issue. But ultimately, every single time you make the same choice, because you learn the truth about who we are. We tampered with the timeline, much like you and your people have. We did it to the point where it wiped us from existence. We sacrificed our purpose. We gave up who we were because we were arrogant and foolish. And because of that, our species was erased. I am all that remains. I am the memory and the history and the lives of our people. It is my mandate to find a way back into the timeline and to set things right. But in order to do so, one species must go. One timeline must be erased if we are to ever return.
And you are the arbiters of this mandate. You have determined this equivalent exchange.
I am the remnant of what our species left behind to ensure our survival. I am the memory and the thoughts of all of our kind.
Perhaps your kind is not used to finding other solutions to your problems.
We, like you, could travel through time. It is through the constant seeking to the solution to this problem that brought us to our annihilation.
What, so you stopped problem solving?
We became the problem.
Live long enough.
Which species? Which species would you have to wipe out? Which timeline would you have to wipe out?
I have been accumulating candidates.
Well, that's not terrifying at all.
How long is your list?
Currently, there are 4,393,267,407 species.
So when you said soon earlier, sounds like you have a lot to dig through. What will ultimately determine the species that you choose?
As I continue to delve into the timelines, I will be able to narrow it down statistically from what I have been able to compute. There will be 8 possible candidates. From there, out of those 8, I shall have to find the one. And there is only one way to do such a thing. I need more data, which means instead of one species, 3 must die.
Is this why you're at the Iconian Gate?
Yes. My intention was to deliver the Iconian technology into the hands of the Tholians.
To what end?
To set off a chain reaction that would result in the extermination of the Romulan species.
The Romulans.
At first.
This is an admirable plan, and I do admire your need to persist. But your goals are just to further yourself. As you said, you are the last of your species. Do you propagate on your own? Will you be creating duplicates of yourself?
Once my species is restored, we will live our lives as intended. Only this time, we will not permit ourselves to tamper with temporal energy.
It is one thing to feel regret. It is another to make amends. Perhaps it may be too late for you to undo the damage that you have done temporally. If that is the case, why is it that your species should survive over another, when the goal of species is to create a better environment for those around them?
That is an entanglement I do not have to deal with, being that my programming and purpose has but one goal.
Then you are correct. We shall eliminate you. And Jatar aims the phaser.
Wait. Wait. We can fix this. We can fix this.
How?
We just need
To change the programming.
Well, I was going to say
When I
we
look
need
at
their
Cyril.
notes and then find a better way, because this program is limited and our creativity as beings is unlimited because we are unfettered by any sort of hard-coded restrictions. And so maybe if they give us their notes, we can find a better way. But maybe that. But first, can we try?
As long as we have time.
I mean, we're made of that.
We have all the time in the world.
Give me your notes. I get like into the hologram space.
I am right behind Cyril, ready to pull them back in case it looks like this thing is about to attack.
The being looks at you, and its face shifts to your face. Its eyebrows kind of lower, and it gives you an even look. And it simply says, "We are not designed to engage in futility."
That's what I'm made for, baby.
Non-holographic beings kind of excel at acts of futility.
It's futile. If you think we're gonna eliminate you, then continuing down your current course of action on your current assumptions, that's what's futile. You have to try something new. We're new.
It waves its hand, and you see its version of the timelines go. You just see all of this data coalescing into an observatory, much like your very own, the ones you have. The difference is this one is expansive outside, connecting mirror universes, stretching across in alternate dimensional ways. You can see all the different timelines as they are spread out. The first thing you notice is the multiple timelines that you see that are running parallel to one another. And in here, out of character, you would see the Kelvin timeline. You would see like the Canon timeline, the start, like all of the timelines basically like mapped out in front of you. And you see pinging on the center of this timeline, a central port where it looks like 3 of them have become entangled. And it's at the moment when which you left on New Romulus.
All right. Well, step 1, we've pinpointed a bit of a problem. It's right there. Cool. Then we move to step 2, addressing the problem. Can you show me what you've tried? What you looked for, how you got to these conclusions? I can see the time, but show me your work.
Hands. As you're in the middle of saying it, waves its hands, and the data that explodes up on that observatory that fills this room immediately, Cyril. It's imagine what it would be like if you were a Renaissance painter and you just encountered your first supercomputer. And it started speaking to you in code using visualizations. That's how advanced and alien this looks to you. What you get immediately from seeing it is that this is a race that was probably warping timelines and traveling through time for most of its existence. How long that could be, you can only tell, but for the same length of time that maybe the Federation has been traveling the stars, they've been warping time. And you see all of this data, probability, you see all of the chances, the maddening paradox that takes place. Every time a thread is pulled, another thread comes unraveled. The tie-up doesn't fix it, and it kind of loops around and around and around. And what you see, what you start gleaning, getting a general idea of more and more as you're looking around, is you're seeing the complexity of this is simply beyond the understanding of any of you. This computer has created what looks like a model that is centuries ahead of understanding of even where the Federation Temporal Agency is at. It looks to you like y'all are at a point where so much has been manipulated, pulled, and rearranged that the threads have tightened to a suffocating point where they're threatening to break. And it looks like that center point is where you all just left. That's what you're able to glean from what you see. Otherwise, none of this makes sense.
Okay, I can follow this. This isn't so bad. I just... let me get to work on this. I need St. Patty. That's all. Just give me time.
No. And it flicks its hand and it goes... It all comes offline.
Coward.
Why won't you let us help you?
Because this ends the same way in every permutation.
Then let it end in this one, the one in which we fail.
Our destruction is imminent.
No, this is a problem of induction. Just because everything up until now has failed doesn't mean the next one does. Things fail until they work.
Cyril,
I
it may be time to listen to them.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of stuck on something that Cadix just said about changing the program. Doesn't that achieve the same thing? Doesn't that essentially destroy who they are as they are right now and turn them into something different?
If we somehow change the programming in a way that they could find other solutions that don't involve wiping out other species, finding alternative solutions.
The destruction may not be permanent.
It's not about necessarily destroying who they can be. It's simply rewriting who they were. So yeah, maybe the end of this version of them is imminent, but it doesn't have to be the end of them. Like, think of how many times other species have evolved in the very same way.
But there's no species to evolve. That's the
Perhaps.
problem.
Well, didn't they just say they're like the preservation of their entire species? They're all here.
All of their memories are here. They are not.
Memories are how we keep everything alive.
All sorts of vessels for memories. Is that what you have? Memories?
This vessel is the entire recorded history, holographically preserved within these databases.
It's more than just holograms. It's true memories, emotions, their essence. I can feel them. I can hear them.
Then why couldn't we do this? If there's holographic everything about them, that's just emitters, baby.
But we have yet to encounter one that could handle such data.
Yet.
So are we doing some program fiddling or what?
Would that be a way of survival? Transmitting these memories, these essence of your people into a holographic state?
Yes.
So they can continue on?
Yes.
Then what's the problem?
To do so, we must die.
I think what I just said, the point stands.
Yeah, butterflies have to turn into goo. Well, caterpillars, then they're goo, then they're butterflies. That's the point. You're going to be butterflies, like holographic butterflies.
This is a riddle.
The memories will be. We will not.
It's not death. It's evolution. And evolution starts with change.
Yeah, stop being sour. We're going to get to work.
Change is death. And death is change.
And is inevitable.
All right. You all sit down, determined as hell, to break whatever cycle this thing thinks it's in. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump right back into our game tonight. You guys have decided to set to work to see if you can do what this program is telling you is impossible. Probably the wrong thing to have said to this group. Probably the wrong thing to have said to these time kids. You all have set to work using your scanners, your information, all the tech you have at your disposal to try to see if you can unravel the rest of this riddle and also solve this equation of inevitability that this program apparently believes it is on. Also, one thing you've kind of started to wrap your head around is this thing seems to be speaking of itself as we, but it seems to be holding itself apart from the overarching memories of the place that it apparently is attempting to exterminate all life from an entire species. It's a big equation to hack, and settling in to try to get into it, it is worth noting that whatever happens, however this turns out, however it ends up, y'all are going to have to jump back to the point where you left to disentangle that crossover of the timeline. This could be the event that helps you do that. Time will tell. But as it stands right now, we're in this strange floating metal room. Let's find out what y'all want to do. What is the plan?
All right. Cyril is going to start off by taking an abstracted out singular entity of this species that I really want to name for you. Can you help me out with that? Because I don't want to nickname someone without their permission. What should we call you?
It stares at you without real comprehension of specifically what you were asking. And after a few moments of trying to process the question, it finally replies, "We are many."
I can work with that. So with an abstracted proof of concept that many. is gonna give me, and I'm gonna start working on the skeleton program architecture that we will need. I don't think I have all the pieces of this, but basically I need a program that I can put into hollow emission.
Okay.
That's going to require a whole lot of stuff. I'm on software hardware integration duty. I'm doing some science and I'm doing some engineering, and I know I might come up short, but I need to figure out where that is.
It sounds to me like you're doing an extended task.
I think I might have set myself up for this very thing.
Indeed.
Yes,
All right.
I might have done this to myself.
Yep. We don't use it too often. Let me just come up with the track for you here.
Mm-hmm.
What are the rest of you doing?
As this information is coming in from Cyril, Jatar is going to utilize his Time Kids technology and sort of analyze the output of data and what sort of container could hold something like this, and is sort of doing a searching scan over time and space to see what are sort of the examples of things within this perimeter that were being created by any species at any time.
You want to find out what kind of holographic technology that has been used to create something similar to this?
Well, we're getting these readings, right, from what they're analyzing, and I can say, okay, what sort of technology could handle this power output or this computational load? You know what I mean? Something that could facilitate the at least storage of something like this.
We have examples from all time and space. What can we template off of? Because
even if it's a ship, right?
Oh, could it be a ship, Jatar?
I don't know. I'm checking.
You're basically trying to find it. Where can we
put this
find
thing?
An arc, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But that could be a part of an extended task too. It doesn't have to be instantaneous.
I mean, there's no reason in the world why I can't make that part of the extended task.
Sure.
Sam doesn't have to be the only one rolling for this extended task. Do you know what I mean?
Go.
The
Yep.
whole operation, this could all be you describing to me how you are basically going to take this incredible problem that I presented, that this program is presented, and all of you tell me how you're contributing it to basically be like, no, we're gonna. This is not how this has to be. I'm gonna set this for. Let's say I'm gonna say an even 10. I'm gonna give you limited attempts.
Okay.
10 limited attempts in order to, because at that point you're gonna have worked through all of the problems and either wound up discovering that you can't move forward, that you've run into something that's recursive, that for whatever reason the logic problem itself has just defeated you. That'll be mirrored by the limited attempts. This is going to be one of the trickier extended tasks I've ever given you all.
Oh boy.
You haven't let me down yet on the extended tasks. However,
I've never done one, so I could absolutely be the person who does that.
Okay, so
I could be the first failure.
So here's the information you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
The base difficulty for this task is 4, which is rough for an extended task.
Well, where are we at on momentum right now?
I have 3.
3? Okay.
Gain an extra one because when you scanned, I forgot to set that at a difficulty 0 instead of going back and writing that. So just gain an extra one. So base difficulty is 4 for an extended task. That's rough. It has a resistance of 2, and the magnitude. Oops, one sec. No. That's wrong. Okay. There we go. Okay, so it's limited attempts. You're gonna get, you're gonna get 20 attempts. I'm sorry, 10 attempts, blah, blah, blah. I am all over the place right now.
I'm sorry, did you say the magnitude or have you not said that yet? I might have cut out. Okay, great.
Yeah. So the base difficulty is 4, the resistance is 2, the magnitude is 4. And you get 10 total attempts. So this is doable. It's just going to be kind of an uphill climb because of the base difficulty and the resistance.
All right, cool.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna allow, what we're going to do is we're going to go around, and whoever wants to contribute to this, let me know. And this is a good opportunity to try to roll the thing you are best at in order to contribute to whatever it is you are trying to do. So if you would like to contribute to the extended task, you can do it. You'll just need to tell me how it is that you're contributing in this way to get it done. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, if you were going to use security, okay, if that's your best thing, explain to me just rationalize how you're using that in this extended task, and I may or may not let you do the thing and use that to the benefit of the entire party. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. I can't see y'all right now because I've got all of my GM.
Oh, yes, we're nodding.
Oh, we are nodding.
Yes.
I was like, did I lose? Am I off Twitch right now? Am I talking to myself?
We're trying not to cross-talk, and as in...
So just give me 1 second because I'm opening up all of these tables right now to make sure that we get this done proper. Like, this is where... This is another example of why I continuously advocate for GM screens. I don't care what people say. It's all preference. If you don't like them, don't use them. I happen to love accessibility. Thank you very much.
So we had gone through what Cyril and Jatar are doing. Would it benefit you to just go around to say what we're doing first, and then we'll make the rolls?
Actually, yeah, that might be the best way to do this.
Okay.
Give me 1 sec. I'm going to use the Klingon core book because it has the most updated version of the rules, which is both cool and frustrating at the same time. But hey, publishing these books ain't cheap, so I don't blame them for being like, we could do a revised edition, or we could just put out a Klingon core book.
I mean, look, it might be better than letting a class permanently languish as nigh unusable and nerfed compared to all the others, because you want to ensure that your handbook for players is the only resource needed. So, Meredith has made a different choice, and one I think is viable in its own right.
Okay, here we go.
Revise Stranger Baby.
All right, I want to see attending an ascended task. All right, cool. I just want to see how you can spend momentum, because I know you can use piercing to reduce resistance by 2 for every momentum you spend for it.
Correct.
That's going to be our big one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need to almost always do that, and I'm going to want to re-roll a lot of dice on the once you succeed the check, you do that many thing. Those are going to be the 2 that I think we want to reserve our momentum for overall.
Okay.
Also, just as a note, a lot of us have untapped potential, which is we're able to re-roll if we've spent momentum, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So let's go ahead and set to work, and let's start with you, Sam. Let's see what Cyril does. Cyril's attempting to basically use their computer expertise to do what exactly here?
This is data structures.
Okay.
This phase of it is it's very computer science, honestly. Okay. I'm trying to determine the data structures that would be compatible with what we have and expand on what I know of computer science to try to build one that could even be an effective vessel for this alien data.
So what attribute and disciplines are you asking to roll here for this? Which ones are you trying to roll?
I would say that for this roll, maybe not subsequent, this one is a reason science, because it's fundamentally I'm doing computer science. Not even software engineering. Like this is the computer science phase.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay.
Cool.
All right, so go ahead and I would say go ahead and make your roll, your reason science check.
Okay. This is also the first roll that I'm going to be using towards this. After this, my testing a theory and theory into practice will kick in, and it'll make the task a little bit more manageable. I'm going to turn down the difficulty by 1, and I'll get another bonus.
So base difficulty right now is 4. You need to achieve 4 successes to get anything on this work track. This is the first attempt.
Are y'all okay with me taking one of our momentum for cautious to try to drum up somewhat? Cool. Then I am rolling 4 dice. 1 for the momentum, 1 for computer expertise, my talent, and 2 for Star Trek Adventures. Woo! 5. No, wait. 2, 4, 6.
6.
It's like 5, but more so.
All right, so you're gonna get 2 successes. You're going to succeed.
And then we would like to spend for piercing.
Okay. So then
that brings us from 6 momentum back down to 5.
That'll remove a resistance of 2. So now you're going to roll the base skill in which you use. So you're going to start with 2 dice, and you used your science discipline, which I believe is 5. Is that correct?
Oh, heck yeah.
So you're going to roll 7 dice here on the track.
Yes.
And tell me what you get.
Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 7. If I can spend 1 more momentum, then I can reroll 3 of my dice.
Definitely. Go.
Cool. Thank you. Worth. That got us another 2. So 8, 9 total.
9 total? Okay.
Yep.
So that's more than 5. It's going to give you 1 breakthrough. So you're going to achieve a single breakthrough on that, and you're going to do 9 work on the track. All right.
That brings our magnitude from 4 down to 3, yes?
Yes.
Dope.
Does that change the difficulty or no?
Yes, the difficulty is going to drop by 1.
Okay.
Difficulty goes down to 3. So your 5 successes. Yeah, that's right. So that's going to drop because that does 5 work basically. 5 work in a single roll will mean that you get 1 breakthrough. So okay, that's 1. That's good. That's good. Good show. Good show. Oh, I typed this up wrong. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Oh yeah, I could have popped through twice if I'd made 1 more point. Well.
1 second. Okay, so
do you know you can spend momentum for additional work? Spend 1 momentum for 1 work done.
If
But
we
you
do
only get-
1 more, because we were at 9.
But it doesn't stack. You only get a breakthrough if you achieve 5. You get a single
Gotcha.
breakthrough. So if you did like 10 work on a single roll, you get 1 breakthrough for breaking 5. You don't get 2.
Got it.
Yeah. So resistance is 2, magnitude is 4, and the work track. Okay, that's what it was. The work track is 20. You get 10 attempts. Okay. And the work track being 20 is not a big deal. So you did 9 work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you got 1 breakthrough. It's going to drop the base difficulty down to 3. And the magnitude is also going to drop down. Because magnitude is basically the hit points of the task. You need 3 more breakthroughs. All right. This takes a good couple of hours of work. Really sitting down and crunching what you're doing. And Cyril, what you're discovering is the magnitude of what you're working on. This is easily the most complicated task you've ever sat down to work on. And in a few moments, and a couple of times, I would say, on more than a few occasions, Thran, you're kind of just trying to being the social of the group. I imagine Thran is the one that's trying to keep spirits up a little bit, because on more than a few occasions, you see Cyril just kind of having moments where they don't know if their brain can hack what they're doing, the enormity of what they're doing, not to mention the pressure. An entire civilization is in this room, and its existence depends on whether or not y'all can succeed. Otherwise, supposedly fate has slated you to murder this thing. The pressure is incredible. And on a few occasions, I would say your contribution to the roles here, I would say yours is going to be trying to keep Cyril's head in the game and keep them on track. The pressure could not be more intense.
And actually, I think that what she's specifically going to try and do is get rid of that pressure by engaging and asking questions about St. Patty, just making this okay, this is just another thing we have to do. This is just staying up and studying for every other final that we've done. And after this, we're gonna go home and it's gonna be fine. We just need to get through this. And so I think that it's just about it's actually about trying to make the stakes not seem as dire as they are. It's just about minimizing it so and they can focus.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fred, I'm a hacker. I'm not an academic. This is data structures and algorithms and things that are not my expertise. I'm supposed to just get into systems, and people code those real poorly.
It's just 1 step at a time. It's just like a mini puzzle from one thing to the next. Thinking tasks, not moments.
Task. I look up at Minnie.
Minnie is standing there like a statue just watching you, and you could swear it feels like they're judging you, but there's no expression on their face. They're just standing.
You know what? She's gonna stand up in front of Minnie, so you're looking at her instead of...
You're just gonna get in front of Cyril's vision. Hey, don't look at the stone-faced computer image that thinks we're gonna murder it.
Fran, could I say maybe the dumbest idea?
Yeah, what's the dumbest idea? I love dumb ideas.
Can we have the spaghetti western party here right now?
Oh my god! Yes!
It's a holiday.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I mean, have you ever seen a spaghetti western? Because I did my research. There's just a lot of slow moments where they do nothing. So honestly, this is the perfect place for that. I will see what I can do.
I jump up and I hug you.
Okay.
And it's a little tremble, like I'm putting all my anxious energy into you for a minute.
Best part is you're dressed perfectly for the part. But we've got to get through this spaghetti western. And if I need to roll for this, roll for your sanity.
That's great.
I mean, I'm just trying to role play through like the thing that
I love it.
Doing
Full circle. The theme.
perfect.
Cadix is in the corner, slowly turning, going.
I want to put this out there.
Yeah.
Right now, too.
Yeah.
Also, because the next person to roll is actually going to be Jatar.
Perfect. Okay.
And Jatar, it's not manifesting in the same way, obviously, being a Vulcan and whatnot. Your brain, oh man, you live for this.
Yes.
What a fascinating and stimulating problem this has been.
No solutions, not on my watch.
There is a version of this, a variable that has not been discussed yet, that involves the death of everyone in this party, that has been kind of floating in the back of your mind. Should you fail? Should things go poorly? Should timelines collapse? Should threads... As you're kind of considering this, your eyes glance up just in time to see that Donan is watching you right now as you are doing your engineering feats, as you're working on this. An entire civilization is waiting for you, is currently in a dreamlike state in the database of this thing. And according to Cadix, they're all very much alive, or at least their memories are very much alive.
I felt it.
How would you like to contribute here?
If possible, I would still like to go down the path of searching for the vessel.
So, I think you're going to make... So what dice pool would you like to roll?
So for that one, maybe a reason engineering or reason science, either one.
I think reason engineering.
Okay. Reason engineering.
And go ahead and make your roll. The difficulty is now 3.
Okay. And if possible, I would like to pop a determination with my value. I trust in my own logic. Just to follow down that path.
Okay. I'm going to spend 2 threat because I never get to do this for extended tasks, and I'm going to increase the resistance by 2.
Okay.
For this roll.
Also, I'm going to give you another threat.
Okay.
And I'm going to use, if possible, I'm going to use bold security because I'm going to include technology that maybe not be so safe for us to use.
I tell you what. I'll negotiate this with you. I'll let you do that, but you are going to need Donan for that.
Oh, yes.
Since that is security is what Donan does. So what I'll do is I'll let Donan assist you on this roll.
Please.
It's the two of you try to work this out. Yeah.
That's what you get off of Jatar after they've done this. Yeah, they look over to Donan and they're just like, please help me.
How often does that happen? I'm just curious between the two of you. How often does Jatan look out to you, the Vulcan, and say, please help me?
Maybe a first.
Donan, like, there's this look that goes over Donan's face for, like, a brief moment that, like, you're not quite sure what it is, but, like, I think around you, especially, like, they don't necessarily try to mimic you. Like, they're fairly chill just on their own merit. But, like, I think you see a little bit of that I'm tough, I'm cool kind of veneer crack for just a second. And then they kind of just sort of tuck themselves up next to you and go, what do you need?
Security clearance. And we'll just go through it.
Okay.
Fascinating.
That is my
roll. Make your rolls. And this is going to be considered an assist. The difficulty is 3.
What's my roll?
He's asked you for a security check. So if you want, what attribute would you prefer using, and how would you rationalize using it here for this task?
I think in this case it'd probably be like a control security check. I think what I'm attempting to do here is, I was thinking about this earlier about the fact that like one of the things that we haven't really done is we haven't really like talked about. So we have the 2 timelines that we knew were going to intersect, but then this third one kind of popped up, and I don't think we pinpointed what that is. So I think my concentration of focus is going to be on that third timeline. What is it? Why didn't we notice it before? What is it doing now? Like, how is it involved in all of this?
Okay.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I want to unpuzzle what that third timeline interference is.
So just to throw this out there, currently the resistance on this is a bestial 4. Like, this thing is nasty. So if you're going to try to get through it, you're going to have to drop some momentum to pierce that.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's going to immediately cancel 4 successes off of your dice.
Yeah.
Excited it's when you get this.
Well,
Right
I want to
now-
go. I want to.
Yes.
Yeah. I would also like. Oh wait, I can't do that. I'm just assisting. Sorry. But yeah, cool.
Okay.
So with the determinations 2, I've also rolled 2 successes.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that's 4 from Jatar.
Nice. So slap up to. Oh, what'd you get?
Can I use? I'm trying to figure out if there's a focus I have that will work for this, and I don't think any of infiltration or espionage.
No.
Did either one of those work? Okay. Then unfortunately, I mean, it is just 1 success for me, but it was so close to being a crit. If I only had a focus that applied.
Only.
So with that 1 extra momentum, then we'll spend that on piercing, and then spend a second one because it stacks, doesn't it?
It does. It's for every. Oh, how many?
Yes, it's repeatable, 1 per 2.
Is it 1 per 2?
I think so.
It is 1 momentum repeatable. So ignore 2 resistance. You can spend 2 momentum to ignore all four resistance.
Which brings us down to 3 momentum, and that's that.
Okay.
Yes. And
So
we'll
go
expect to
ahead
spend
and
1 on rerolls.
So then you're going to make your engineering roll and add 2 challenge dice to that. So you're going to be. I'm guessing yours is a total of 7 as well, correct?
No, I only have an engineering of 3.
Okay, so you're going to roll a total of 5 dice.
Okay. Ooh, what do so do you want me to count effects as successes as well, or is it just effects?
They count as successes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's 5 total. 3
Ooh.
are effects.
Okay, so you are going to gain. That's going to be a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So 5 work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's the thing: even though doing 5 work counts as that's right, it counts as that's right. So it's just 1 breakthrough.
Yep,
so that's going to drop the difficulty down to 2.
Yes. Same with the magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
And we went through the resistance, so all of it goes through. And yep.
Okay. All right.
So I have that we're 14 on the work track. Right? No. Yeah. 9 and 5.
Work track. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's correct.
I was counting down, so I was like, no, we're not at 14.
yeah.
We're way farther along. We're only at
6.
yes, but 6 and 5. Yep. Those reverse maths get you every time.
All right.
Great. Thank you, Donna.
Okay.
Of course.
So that's 2 attempts out of 10. You guys are doing great. Next action up. It's a shame Gina's not here. They can't really roll for this. But Cadix, was there anything you wanted to do? You're also security and infiltration.
I am. But I mean, it would pretty much be what they were planning to already to do.
That's okay. Yeah,
you know,
you can do an assist on the next thing. But like, so here's what I'll give you.
Like trying to figure out security wise, like what is safe to.
You're also. It's also fair to say that right now, Cadix being the literally the linchpin that actually enabled them to even do this and make the attempt, after dipping your psyche into the maelstrom of voices of an entire civilization over the past 100,000 years that it existed, you're leaning up against the wall. Just.
Yeah. I'm nursing a migraine right now.
Yeah.
Y'all are doing great. Continue your work. Good job, everyone.
we're going to say for every attempt, 2 hours have passed. It's been 4 hours of working, of you guys checking notes and comparing and whatnot. Every now and then, many will say something really frustrating like, time grows shorter. The inevitable is coming. Your efforts are in vain. Things like this that are constantly cycling over and over.
It's like a fat video game loading screen, Cyril.
Right?
Yes, it's like somebody just constantly hitting voice emotes over and over. But
The
I will
worst
say,
fortune cookies you could possibly get.
Jatar, a culmination of your 2 hours of work yields some pretty interesting findings. Throughout the courses of history, you do see a couple of points throughout the timelines where there are some recorded events that seem like they could be a cascading event, meaning that if you were to enact or involve this thing or this person or whatever, it could lead to a cascading event taking place in its timeline, and then you have to determine how disruptive that's going to be and if it's going to become a temporal anomaly or not.
Right.
You do see a very interesting point of timeline where it looks like the Dyson sphere that was discovered by the Federation, highly unstable and dangerous, however, has more than enough computation space to store an entire civilization's memories. However, the star of which that Dyson sphere surrounds is highly unstable. The star is in no danger of exploding anytime soon, but the stability of the star itself has reached a point in its time period where it's actually made it very dangerous to live within it. That may or may not affect the computer algorithms of an entire civilization essentially being uploaded via like River Song in the library style.
That's what we're looking to do.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. The next thing that pops up on your list is slotted. It's already flagged as a temporal anomaly. And it looks like it is paradoxical. And what strikes you about this is you see your name listed on the file.
Oh.
And
go on.
Underneath it, you see file. It says holographic temporal incursions. Now, it's part of the temporal prime directive. That when you encounter things like this, you do not touch them. Because you don't know what Pandora's box you are about to open. When you come across your own timeline like this, you don't know what box you're about to open.
That says stay away.
And those are the
I'll
only...
open it. That's fine, right?
Or Donan.
Yeah, we just won't tell you.
It's up to you. It's totally up to you.
But I'll definitely share this information. I'll pull it up for the party that's still working.
Okay.
I could use a little light reading. I'm just trying to distract my head.
Okay. Are you gonna open this file?
Oh man, I'm really chaotic good, aren't I? Or chaotic something.
When are you not, baby?
I know.
Up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it. I just know that I will not, any information that I consider sensitive, I will not share with Jatar.
The moment you open it up, you see the file. It's kind of like side-swiped over to you, and you kind of catch it on the holographic reader. Donna, you see this happening. You can see Jatar, ever the Vulcan, ever trying to follow the temporal prime directive, behaving appropriately, slides that over to Cadix. Cadix, when you see the file open in front of you, the moment you start reading it, you realize everyone's going to see the expression on your face, but you realize you have just enacted a temporal cascade effect, because as that file opens, history records that it was given to you instead, and that he still ends up learning all of the information that is presented in the file. And all of a sudden, you see a registration, like an alert go off on your temporal dial that indicates that you've just entered. You are now on track on events that you cannot change. As you see that line up, and the first thing that comes across the screen is the file. You realize your name is in this file now too. It is also a part of it. You just
Let's pass it around like a peace pipe. Who wants a piece of this?
There's one name you don't recognize on there though.
Oh.
Andrea Redgrave. It's among all of the names that are listed on the group that actually manipulate holographic temporal technologies. It has every single one of your names on there. It does not hint at what comes next, but it does indicate that you contact somebody named Andrea Redgrave as somebody who has an intimate connection and an understanding of holographic temporal incursion effects, as well as an advanced understanding of this kind of level of technology. Currently is in the process of researching these. Let me put it this way. You see a flag next to the name indicating that it is a non-humanoid masquerading as a humanoid that is researching forbidden technologies and is currently an extra-dimensional being that may or may not be traveling through this particular time thread at this time. But is a course of action that, according to this, you are now on a collision course.
Is this a result of Donnan looking into that third timeline, trying to figure out what it is? Like,
this is. You're asking if this is a result. I'm sorry.
My particular contribution to this was looking at that third timeline. I was just trying to figure out what we gleaned from that.
Yep. Yep. Basically, by Jatan, by basically saying you look at this, has had the effect of him looking at it, essentially, is what time records.
So we're in the third timeline.
So you see and all your indicators, your temporal indicators, ding, 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 line up green. Interesting side effect of this is the hologram many just goes variable detected.
I'm gonna look over at Thran and point to Redgrave's name and say, I believe you and I might have to make a house call.
Well, let's get to it. Are you gonna be okay? She turns to Cyril.
I mean, you're gonna come back with spaghetti, right?
With a name like Redgrave, they sound like they'll have spaghetti, for sure. That's a Western name if I ever heard one. Maybe they're
I
like,
knew it.
Okay. House call?
I will continue the work here and work with Cyril to initiate the process of the transfer once we have the data.
Oh, and the spaghetti, and maybe also just like a good holo emitter prototype. Just if you can pick one up. Thanks.
And if I had to pick between the spaghetti or the holo emitter, she's obviously joking.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have to choose between them, right?
Right? Looks at Manny. Anyway, let's go.
I'm gonna slowly close the file and give it back to Jatan. I'm like, don't read that.
Acknowledged. And he'll pass it over to Donnie.
Don't let
Donnie
me
is
look
like,
at that.
I don't want to read it either.
There's no telling the amount of damage that
Everything-
can continue to be done if you continue reading into that.
Yeah,
that
there's
file.
a really
Everything-
cute selfie of you two in there somewhere.
Don't say that.
Everything I need to know about you, I already and I would like to discover everything else about you. Just
Daniel's kind of
on our
warned
own
y'all about
time.
this. Daniel's warned y'all when y'all were recruited there was going to come a time where inevitably, if you travel far enough, you'll meet yourself. And he warned you, when that time comes, there are protocols. And the whisper he gave you was, the temporal prime directive is very clear on how you interact with your timeline. And I'm going to tell you a secret that the higher-ups won't tell you. No one knows what the fuck to do. All you can do is your best. There's a point where you reach the end of the universe. All you can do is your best. It is the single most dangerous thing about what it is we do. And it's still worth it if it means we can save lives and set this universe right and repair the damage that is being done.
I feel like saving an entire civilization calls for this kind of memory recollection. Going, yeah, we're doing our best.
Who's going?
House call.
The two of you? All right. You input the coordinates of where it is believed this Andrea Redgrave is currently existing in this particular time thread, and you both vanish. you appear on what could be described as a very comfortable, cool, grassy lawn. Around you is a hellish volcanic planet spewing sulfur into the atmosphere. You can see a volcano that's probably close to 20 kilometers tall, reaching up into the near, like the exterior atmosphere of a planet. It is enormous. It looks like a hellscape the moment you appear
So
here.
like Mustafar, but we're on a green lawn.
Mustafar.
Wrong franchise.
Mustafar after like a lot of coffee.
Okay, great.
And you're on Koth Safar, and this place looks like pure hell. As you're, but where you were standing is a nice lush green lawn.
Okay.
And the other thing that you notice too is the both of you appear is you're no longer Romulan, you're yourselves. As you've appeared here, you staring down at your hands. Also a border collie comes running up to you excitedly. Ears flopping all around as she comes dashing up to you in the grass, yipping and yipping excitedly.
Is this border collie wearing a collar?
Yes.
What's the collar say? Is their
Missy.
name? Missy.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that Thran is the dog person. Thran's gonna get on, crouch down, and basically be like, "Hey, Missy," and is gonna try and like trace, like either like see if there's like any contact info on the collar, but if not, just like see where Missy came from.
Yeah, there's a point of origin. It's about 30 feet away where you see what looks like trees, green pines, where a hammock is located. It looks like a dinner tray has been set out where there is what looks like a holographic screen on display, and an elderly woman in very comfortable thin cotton, sort of like flowing white pants and a blouse on, gold jewelry around her neck, and a cigarette and 2 fingers. As she sees this, it is, I cannot say, it is so surreal to see what looks like a relaxing day in a beautiful backyard at some like resort community, except for this is a square footage space of 100 by 100 feet of paradise surrounded by hell. The woman smiles at you gently as she rises from the hammock that she was laying in and says, "She likes you."
I like her. Are you Redgrave?
You from the Continuum?
Oh.
Yes, we are. No, I'm just kidding.
No. We all know that apparently I'm not good at. Yes, we Continuum folk. No. No, not quite that exciting.
All right. Glad to hear. However, it should be impossible for you to know who I am and where I am right now, so who are you? And what are you doing here?
Let's just say knowing where people are and knowing when people are is our specialty.
That sounds like a very dangerous specialty. What can I do for you? What brings
We are in need of your specialty.
Go on.
In particular, your knowledge in holographic technology.
You see her face suddenly relax in astonishment as she says, "The temporal anomaly. This is the event. It's
Oh,
happening
good.
right
You know this stuff.
Are you?
Oh, good. We can just skip the small talk. Yes.
It's happening right now."
What do you think is supposed to happen, or what is supposed to happen?
That I don't know. I'm cognizant of what is to take place, but not how. Very difficult to explain. Not omnipotent, you see, just quite... I'm omnipotent adjacent. She smiles and takes a drag off of her cigarette.
Well, we're just trying to...
I already know what you're trying to do, and you are the missing piece. I've been jumping realities. I have been looking for a way, the missing link, the missing piece of technology out there that would permit me to fulfill my dream of creating a new life. I have run into dead end after dead end. I have angered quite a few powerful beings out there doing what I do.
Ah, if you suspected we were the Continuum, then yes, I have no doubt.
It's only a matter of time till they find me. But not a matter of time regarding the completion of my life's work. And that's now out of their hands if you're here. What is exactly it that you need from me? You mentioned holographic technologies. What is the nature of your conundrum?
There is a civilization needing to be freed. They are contained in some kind of energy stasis. Their memories, their feelings, their essence is still alive, per se.
There's a computer matrix that has stored the life of an entire civilization within it?
Yes, actually.
Civilizations? What'd you say?
She asked if there is a computer matrix that has stored an entire civilization's worth of memories and feelings and thoughts and whatnot inside of it. And it was confirmed.
Yeah.
Kadix said yes. She says, the only other people that had that technology were the preservers. And even for someone like me, it's been very difficult to track down. Never mind. You don't need to know that.
I'm making mental notes going, yes, we do. I'll be looking into that later. More chaotic fun later.
She says every now and then the technology slips out, but it doesn't manifest as anything more than a psychic simulation. A sort of like a house of mirrors, as it is often referred to back on Earth in the 20th century. But this is different, and it might be the answer I'm looking for. Why don't you take me with you and let me see what I can do?
I look over to Thran as if to see, with my eyes ask, can we trust her?
I don't think we have much of a choice. You should absolutely come with us. I think that we saw her name on a list, and if our name was on that same list, then we're in the same situation.
We're all on a list together. So,
all right.
Go team. All right.
She bends down and starts petting the dog, and she says, you be a good girl, and I'll be right back.
It'll be like she wasn't even gone.
The border collie immediately sits down happily and waits.
She'd like to come with us?
Actually, yeah, can we just...
It's a manifestation of my will.
Oh.
She'll wait here.
I have a friend that is toiling away at a problem, and I think that the dog would have helped, but...
Well, then I'll bring her with me. Shall we go?
I think they'd like that. Yeah. Let's go.
So the return of these two could not be any more unexpected, because as they reappear, they're with the woman who's barefoot and dressed for a fine summer day at the beach. And there is a border collie that looks very excited and immediately rushes up to you, Cyril, and starts really demanding those scritches. Just like, it's really important. It's really important that you pet them.
Oh gosh, you're one of those Earth things, aren't you?
It's super
I remember
important.
meeting one of you at the academy. Oh gosh, what are they called? Hi, what are you called? And I look up at Redgrave, like, who be you? Hi. And where's Miss Spaghetti?
She smiles at you and just says, "It's a border collie. You can call her Missy."
Hi, Missy.
And with that, Redgrave stops paying attention to everybody and immediately strides up to what is the construct in front of you, who stares at her.
This is Many.
This is ancient. Where exactly are you all from?
Perhaps the details should be kept close to our chests, as they say.
And it's not a matter of where we're from, but when.
Also, we don't know because of that reason.
Well, you're near a quantum entanglement in the timeline, but I think I can see to that. You do realize that by enlisting my aid, you've set forth a temporal cascade?
Yeah, we got the impression.
Well, I suppose, what can one do?
I'm a reader.
Only our best.
I might have some suggestions of how we can work our way out of it. But for now, let me see what you've done so far. And she moves over and starts looking at your work, Cyril, and says, "This is very good. This is very good."
You know, on a reality TV show, when the judge starts sampling like your dish or something, and you're just like a freaking bundle of nerves about it. So Cyril's just like sitting there, not quite over the shouldering, or like, you know, if someone's reading your writing, same vibe.
Right.
Whole thing. They're just kind of like, wait, it's good. It's good.
All right.
Like Gordon Ramsay describing the perfect souffle.
Yeah.
All Hollywood
prepared for you.
cake.
Go ahead and make the next attempts then. And yeah, you can make your rolls, and then on this one, I would say, Xander, if you want to assist, I would say Jatan can. Or Jatal, rather. Wait, what is the last letter of your name?
Jitar.
That's what I had. I wasn't reading it properly. Okay, so Jatar, you can make the roll as well. And this would be an assist check, so it's going to be a single roll here. You guys are getting really close to finishing this off. So this will be for another 2 hours worth of work. Okay. Go ahead and make your roll, and it's same rolls as last time. Same discipline, same everything. And she is basically enabling you all to do this as she is working you through the problems.
All right. I knocked down the difficulty by 1 for my talent theory into practice.
Okay.
Because I've attempted a task using science engineering as long as I've succeeded at a previous task covering the same scientific or technological field earlier in the same adventure. It's exactly what this is.
Okay.
A quick question. Would a focus of hacking come into play with this?
I mean, you're not really trying to break into a security system or anything. You're not really trying to...
Well, piloting's not going to help.
Piloting's not going to help. No, I would say not so much.
Okay. Just checking.
It's a pilot project.
There it is.
Tell me what you got.
I got 4 on a difficulty that was knocked down to 2 and then 1 from my talent. So it was a total of 5 on a difficulty 1 check.
Okay. So then
we'll be topped out.
All right. So I'm guessing you're going to spend that to ignore resistance as well.
Yeah, I think the
resistance 0.
Yes.
Are you going to say futile? Were you going to say futile? Sam, were you going to say futile? Were you going to say futile? No, Sam.
I was going to say I think the Borg have something to say about that, but I wouldn't. I couldn't bring myself to acknowledge that they had anything positive to offer.
Okay.
So I shut up.
Okay. It's important to check. All right. So go ahead and roll your challenge dice. Tell me what you get.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Where'd that other D6 go? Okay, find this one. Oh, I need to re-roll. Oh, that was bad. It wasn't even good. I have like 4 dice that come up nothing.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, spend.
Yeah.
I think we're down to 2 momentum.
No, we topped off.
just.
Oh no, we did. That's right.
Yeah. So we're 5. Now going down to 4 because we spent 1 for the resistance for the piercing.
Right.
Yeah, that's better. That got us another 3. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, that's another breakthrough. All right.
Yeah.
We'll drop that down to magnitude 1.
Yeah.
Pop, pop.
5, 6.
Pop, pop.
All right.
Every time, I just think it every time.
Really, at this point, with as many attempts as you have left, even with the threat that I have left, it is statistically impossible for you guys not to succeed at this task, unless you were to consistently roll 20s on everything you attempted moving out.
It could
Done
happen.
it 3 times so far.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? I'm going to go ahead and call this hours and hours of work with Redgrave. Here's what you devise. It will be possible to transfer this data into a vessel that could support it. However, in order to do so, you are going to have to eliminate the program that is gatekeeping the entire library of consciousness.
No gatekeeping.
Specifically, Redgrave points out, as you all start looking over after 4.5 hours of working on this, your bones ache, you're hungry, you're thirsty. Redgrave, that cigarette never seems to go down, and also doesn't smell. You're not getting any smoke from it. You're not even sure it's real. And at one point, she starts reiterating what you have all learned, which is this. The gatekeep program, known as Many, is what's preventing the transfer of the data because it is designed specifically for one purpose alone, and that is to remove somebody from the galactic equation so that its race can once again exist. And it does so by preserving the entire race in a database while jumping from timeline to timeline to alter the course of that timeline and change the fate of its species, which is currently, as Doctor Who would say, time locked into a fate of death and extermination on its own behalf. The only way to save the consciousness of this race is to eliminate that gatekeep program, whose protocols will not allow you to part with it, and whose protocols insist that the only way forward is the extermination of an entire species from a timeline. So Redgrave points out, so in order for this to happen, we simply have to eradicate that program. However, I have an alternate solution. This program is functioning on a matrix that allows it to exist in a sapient state. It's simply locked into a sort of recursive way of thinking due to the programming that's up against that. If I liberate it from that programming, it will destroy the program unless I preserve the program on its own separate vessel.
Doctor, I believe that is what you are here to do.
In that case, I recommend a data transfer to this Dyson sphere that you have managed to reference. Which would mean we would need to get this place to where it needs to be. After that is done, I will separate the program, much like separating twins. Except I will ensure that both will survive, but one will be forever changed. I have a device that I've been building for some time. The technologies used in this place come from all over the galaxy from different periods of time. It looks like it has been using energy sources from all sorts of species throughout the timelines. Utilizing this technology, I could finally build what I need. My price is I get to keep this technology once the data transfer has been made.
That is strictly against the temporal accords and we cannot allow. And then Jatar stops himself and says, cannot allow this not to happen. You are the variable. Your terms are acknowledged and agreed to.
Well, then it would seem you're right. And she turns and looks at Many and says, your death is at hand. What comes next, though, will be beautiful.
And just for, the sake, because, temporal we have rules that we have to abide by too. As Jatar is saying that, I'm
Mhm.
going to telepathically read Redgrave and see if her intentions are genuinely honest and not malicious in any way. That way, when we all go, okay, that's cool, I can be like, yeah. She's not gonna.
You get
You
the
know?
impression. So there's two things. First of all, you get that she is ancient beyond the age of the thing you are standing in.
Okay.
The second thing you get is that you get three things. You get that she is ancient beyond the thing you're standing in. You get that she is, curiously enough, she's looking upon this construct that's in front of her that's constantly changing shape and size and face. She's looking at it like a mother who's just been introduced to the baby that she's about to adopt.
Okay.
Looking through the glass at the baby that was born and saying hello for the first time. That's the look in Redgrave's face right now. She's looking at this construct. And the second thing you get is she is fully aware that you're in her mind.
Oh.
And there's no hostility.
Okay.
There's no resistance at all. And the fact that she doesn't even acknowledge you makes it feel like you just walked into a room and thought, oh, sorry, but no, come on in.
Okay.
There's this sort of feeling that's, okay, I'm okay to be here. Yeah.
And I'm just going to look at her and nod and kind of acknowledge, like, thank you. Just wanted to make sure we're not giving you a weapon of mass destruction type of thing. I had my reason.
There is a chirping alert on all of your tricorders, indicating that you have moved from the location that you were at.
I didn't do it, and I looked at Jatar, our pilot, immediately.
How was this done?
I expedited the process.
Perhaps you sensed the need for us to be in a separate space, and the proximity of the other temporal incursions. We may be able to utilize the Iconian Gate and wrap up any sort of temporal incursions we may have caused by our interference there.
That is beyond my purview.
Thank you for moving.
You're welcome. Since we are now just on the periphery of the Dyson sphere, I shall begin the data transfer.
All right.
I don't think we should be here for whatever happens next.
She looks at all of you and says, I think that's probably true.
Donnan sees Cyril's face and is just like, I know. I get it. But there are some things we shouldn't know.
See, that's really why I could never be a time agent. How could you... If someone else knows, I want to find out too.
Then I think you have a decision to make. Because I'm going.
Live long and prosper, buddy.
I think you're going to find you and I don't know each other anymore. But you too.
We'll see.
There's a parting of ways here.
Jatar turns to Cyril and just says, peace and long life. And then turns to Donnie and then says, where you go, I will follow. And takes your hand.
Yeah, this seems like the right time. Someone's gonna give him a kiss.
Yay! Okay. Inver approaches you, Cyril. And she looks at you and just cocks her head and says, you were going to have the bird next. I suppose I could see to it that it still makes its way to you. I will notice your absence.
You'll know when to find me. And if you don't break the rules and visit, I don't even know who you are.
She gives you the customary farewell.
I high-five her with it.
Okay. That seems to confuse her for a second, then she high-fives you right back.
I go up to Cyril, give them a big hug, and then whisper, I'll definitely come and visit. You just won't recognize me. And give him a wink.
You really think the time agents are gonna find me?
We are the time agents. We will find you.
So with Bran, she's like lingering in the back because I think that she's trying to figure out what she wants to do herself. But I think that she like takes it all in and walks up to Cyril and stays like a few feet away from you, because what she's gonna do is she's gonna do like a little square dance and then tip an imaginary hat. So long, partner.
See you at the next one.
We'll see with the next one. They couldn't keep us away if they tried. And she's going. She's going with Enver.
One by one, you all blink back to that day in New Romulus that you left.
In my headcanon, Redgrave takes one last little look at Envar and is like, maybe human though, and then turns back.
Yeah. Yeah. Curious. One by one, you all blink back into the aftermath of the events that were unfolding just as you left. The moment you arrive, those of you who arrive here, obviously Cyril staying behind and heading back to their origin. I'm assuming Cyril that you're taking you're leaving completely. You're going to go back to the point you left at Starfleet Academy. What is your destination?
Oh, I don't know yet. I'm a time rogue.
Okay.
When we leave Cyril's with Redgrave at this Dyson Sphere location and with many, surrounded by all that equipment and like seeing it through on that end.
Okay, so
I feel like we all assumed you were.
So the moment they leave, Cyril.
Yeah.
The moment they leave, your temporal indicator immediately starts flashing an alert.
Yeah.
And as it does, you see it is alarming. It is letting you know that there has been a disentanglement of the quantum timelines. But it's also flashing you like a warning on your timeline of where you are. Redgrave looks at you and says, "Well, my work here is done, and I'll be taking this. Are you going to be all right?"
It's a wild galaxy. Who knows? But I got myself handled, if that's what you're asking.
And you can move about and don't need any help?
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a lift if you're offering one.
Where would you like to go?
Yeah.
I could think of a few things. And she moves over to you, but again, that red beeping on the timeline indicator seems to indicate that some kind of anomaly has taken place. Some kind of an event has taken place. Regarding specifically the people that just left here. History's been written. which is unusual. Because of the quantum disentanglement, it should be that history has realigned. But it would appear that something else has happened.
What do you make of that?
I don't know how to use that. Never seen one before.
You're omnipotent adjacent, and you've never seen one of these?
I don't require that kind of technology to start reading the tea leaves, as it were. But it looks like a tricorder. Federation technology, is that accurate?
Yeah, good pick.
Federation is a good pick, actually.
For what?
Just a pet project of mine, she says wistfully.
You got a pretty good pet project right here. Ear floop on Missy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Dunno. So I think Cyril's gonna be watching this time anomaly very closely, because, like, they don't want to be involved with this time agency, and they're really down to go hop with Redgrave.
Yeah.
But they also want to make sure their friends are okay, and I think that's the wipe.
So you glance down, and seeing the information come back, you see indeed the threads of timelines have separated and split and diverged. You don't know how the events unfolded back on New Romulus, but apparently they unfolded as they should have. The Tholians apparently did not get their hands on the Tholian Gateway, and the hologram didn't show them how to open it. What you see being recorded is that your team apparently returned to their original time with the time slippage, and then they vanish from the record. After that, what you see recorded is scattered. It looks like historical document shows that a temporal accord was signed, that time travel was banned, and then all of the records just stop for about 30 or 40 years or so. And then it records something called the burn. You see that timeline become locked as yours separates. And Cyril, it starts to occur to you suddenly that the events that were set in motion, that untanglement that took place, you now realize that you're adrift, separated from their timeline, severed from an event that apparently the history of the temporal agency comes to a dead stop and the records cease. Redgrave furrows her brows and looks at you and says, "Good heavens, what's wrong?"
My friends, they just stopped.
And in that silent moment, as you two stand there, adrift in the dark space over a Dyson sphere in some unknown time frame, that is where we bring an end to this episode.
Yeah! It's so good! Also, everybody go watch Star Trek Discovery. It's very good, especially
Right?
season 3.
Oh my goodness.
I
Y'all.
loved everyone's faces, and then Riv just like,
So,
Oh, my furious Googling
I'm
and then
gonna-
watching what the burn is.
I'm going to out all of you. I'm going to out everybody because I want to tip my hat to my players. Before anybody in chat or anybody on VOD goes thinking that this was just some brilliant idea of mine for the story, it wasn't. Tonight's game took a twist, and during the break, these kids started asking, oh my God, what if we are the origin of Redgrave and Exio? And decided to roll with that and pursued it. I gave them multiple options with consequences if they wanted to go that direction, and they took it. So tonight's story arc was an example of a bunch of players, ending the hell and saying, what if, and working with me and just going completely off the map of what I had planned. And this is what we got. So y'all, thank you for enriching the hell out of the Clear Skies storyline. This was a very special episode, I have to say. Brilliantly done on everybody's part. This is a ton of fun. And this was an unlock, a fundraiser unlock that you guys, Aux Crew, made possible. Thank you so much for supporting us on the Patreon and for helping us raise them funds to get our LLC up and going. I can tell you now that you can look forward to some Streampunks merch coming pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. I don't have anything else tonight. I'm just going to go and exhale and maybe take a shot of Romulan ale and just kick back and just marvel.
Illegal.
We need a video. We need a video of Gina watching this episode.
Yeah.
A reaction video. That should be a bonus behind the scenes.
She's not allowed to watch this video
That's
until
true.
it's all over.
Her timeline.
Oh man. Thank you all so much for a really wonderful night. And thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Clear Skies. We will see you back here in the Clear Skies fashion in about 2 weeks. But next week, stay tuned for Bonnie's Alice in the Wonderland episode. And then after that, you can look forward to some Blood of the Void. Until then, hailing frequencies are closed.